Hi, welcome back. In this, I'm going to be going through Next.js, doing the tutorial by Vercel. Feel free to do this along with me, and I'll be giving my comments and comparing to Django and other full stack frameworks that I know. So an interesting thing about Next is that it's full stack in the same way that you have Django, where you have your backend and then you can render HTML templates and then embed JavaScript in that. Similarly, Next allows you to have a backend normally in TypeScript / JavaScript, and then a front end in React. But then the cool thing is that it's all, you don't have to add anything in because it's all JavaScript. So that is appealing. I'm interested to see how rigorous it can be and how robust, whereas Django is very robust. So yeah, okay, cool. So we're going to be creating this dashboard with a homepage, login page, dashboard protected by auth. That's good. CRUD functionality regarding invoices, and then a database, which would be really good to do. For full stack, yeah, all looks good. All is as you'd expect. Okay, cool. Let's get going. Okay, so I'll create a new project and I'll just create a folder. Let's call it Next.js guide, and then Next.js guide. Cool. So inside the empty folder, we want to install the package manager. Here, PNP, and then install this sort of create next with and then download their files for the Next.js dashboard from GitHub. Cool, there we go, downloaded, and just see that they're in their Next.js dashboard. Let's just change to PyCharm. So yeah, here is the dashboard inside our folder, and then it looks pretty similar to Nuxt. I'm comfortable with Nuxt. Yeah, you have an app here, then there's the layout, UI. Okay, so they've got components in here. So here's an example of button component for React. REST is the prop there. And then they're going to have, okay, this is how they split it up. They split up their UI, so in-app. Okay, and I'm guessing there'll be another, where is the back end? So we have this as the front end, I'm assuming. Actually, no, maybe this is both. Yeah, this is our back end, I think. Yep. So SQL, so it's going to interact with Postgres here. Okay, don't really like how it's doing that with, maybe it's okay. So much better to use that on ORM. Django's lovely ORM, for example. Okay, whatever, yeah, why not use the good JavaScript ORMs? I suppose this is perhaps clearer for people who've never encountered an ORM before. Some seed data, scripts, okay, sort of one-off scripts to add things to the database. There's public assets. Amy Burns is there. And yeah, this seems fairly clear. UI splits into UI, and then these hopefully would be auto-generated by, like such as Prisma. Yep. And data. Okay, this is kind of data operations, placeholder data, and then general utils. Okay, fairly clear structure. Yeah, fairly clear. Cool. And this is just explaining it at lib. Pretty much what I just said. And placeholder data, TypeScript is being used. Great. And I'm fine with TypeScript, provided that the validation is also on the database layer and it's not just TypeScript. Previous startups I've done some work in just use TypeScript. Let's see, if you're manually, they pretty much say the same thing. We're manually declaring the data types, but for better type safety, use Prisma or, I don't know what Drizzle is. Interesting. Another ORM. Haven't heard of this for JavaScript. Cool. And Prisma type ORM is the, let's just try running, as it says, PNP run dev. It's not found. Okay, because we need to go inside the Next.js dashboard and then run it again. No, that's a bit dull. Okay, I need to upgrade Node. So let me just do it for this. Okay, it's already installed. Works okay. NVM install 20. Install. It's good. That's picked up. Well, it's Mac Silicon. Okay, that was much nicer than I was expecting. Great. Okay, well, I was complaining in an unwarranted way. Let's see now if this works. npm dev. Great. Really good. Let's open localhost 3000. Check it out. Okay, that looks good. Well, it looks terrible, but there's just styling hasn't. I wonder if that styling is continuing. So it doesn't. Okay, intentionally unstyled. Good. Yep, all looks good. Okay, that's chapter 1 done. let's move on to chapter 2 of 16. So chapter 2, styling, global styles. That's pretty simple stuff. In UI, in layout, this is a lot like Next. You have a layout, although you can have multiple layouts in Next. I imagine it's very similar. Yeah, there you go. Root. This is the root layout. And we will just import the global CSS at the top. Let's kind of keep this running. There you go, compiled. And now refresh. There you go, let's change. And it is not very, there we go. And this will be in the UI app. UI global styles is somewhere going to be here. Yeah, cool. If we just look in here, cool, yeah, and Tailwind is automatically installed. Yeah, love Tailwind. And if you're building things with Tailwind, check out my product, photondesign.com, which is here, and you can generate UI using Tailwind. Oh, cool to see some new generations today. Quite a few. Wow, yeah, loads. Great. People are using it. Okay, and so just talking about Tailwind. I know Tailwind very well. We're using Tailwind classes here. I don't need to play with Tailwind. I know it. I've used that a hell of a lot. So what shape do you see when you... Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to bother doing it. So I'm just going to continue. CSS modules. And okay, this is just talking about... Oh, this is quite nice. I haven't come across CSS modules explicitly before. So in app UI, let's just follow this along. App UI and then create home.modules.css. I'm not going to ask that again. Oh, I've misspelled CSS. There we go. And then we add this. What is the benefit of this module rather than just a... Okay, well, then this is very similar to having scoped CSS with Vue. Oh, cool. And so we'll just add a unique ID on when it imports it so that shape is always unique. Okay, cool. This looks... Oh, nice. This is a nice way of doing it. Very neat that you can just have it in a separate file, which you don't think you can do in Vue. You don't think you can. That's a benefit. Okay, so let's import this into, where is it? Page.tsx. Yep, there's some benefits. And we want to import the styles here. It's a good tutorial. And then on, where did they put it? Just above the flex min h. Okay, so we want to insert it. Is this the same as this? Yeah, okay. And then we styles is dot shape. Curly brackets, styles, dot shape. If that is incorrect, what am I doing wrong here? Do I need to... I'm doing it view style. It's not view style, remember it's React. There we go. Cool. Let's see what our shape is. I failed to compile. What's the issue? Installed styles. Can't resolve this. Okay, it's installed. It's added the app symbol. App UI home modules.css. Okay, that is not. I have clearly made an error here. Let's go back. App UI home modules home.modules.css. App UI home.modules.css. Maybe I just need to restart the server. Let's try that. No. Do I need to export something? Nope. If I just entered this incorrect, and I did just copy and paste it in, styles.shape. Looks like it's not being detected. Okay, let's try debugging it a bit. What's that? Rename? No, that's kind of a unhelpful error. So shape is in here. Do I need to have something about detected as a CSS file? Do I home.modules.app/UI/home.module.css? I see. Typo. Makes sense. It's not a plural. It's singular. And module. Cool. Okay, now let's go again. There we go. I think that might be the triangle that we created. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, okay, that was the triangle, the Vercel triangle. Great. Okay, onwards. Locally scoped and reduce the risk of styling conflicts. CLS. They love their tooling. Yeah, just it's a bit different to minimizing things, but it can be worth it. What is this? You can toggle CLSX. Haven't heard of it before. Yeah, so conditional styling. This is very common with React, with Vue. You just have Vue inline styles. Okay, so this is how they Yeah. So this is built into Vue. So React scores a little bit negatively here. I don't really care about this. I wouldn't add this. I suppose I could inline it maybe slightly better. Okay, fine. Let's just add this in. Invoices status dot tsx. Okay, it's already imported. Okay, it's already here. CLSX class X. Okay, continuing. So what components use it to? It's going to be status and another. So CLSX, breadcrumbs uses it, button uses it, status uses it, latest. So does table use it? Table.tsx. No. Okay, therefore it must be this. Okay, now just by process of elimination. Sass is fine. I've used emotion before. It's okay. Not amazing. This is what kind of works. Okay, cool. So chapter 2 done. With a tiny bit of styling. I like this module.css approach. Nice. Wonder if you can do that with Vue. But anyway, okay. Next, on to chapter 3, optimizing fonts and images. Okay, so we've done 20 minutes so far, 3 chapters. So it will roughly take us about an hour and a half to go through this. That's fine. Okay. Now let's continue. Add custom fonts. Next, add images with next image is quite interesting because it's quite optimized. I know. Fonts I'm less interested in. Okay, cumulative layout shift. Yeah, that's significant when a page loads. You don't want things shifting about. And Google measures that with Lighthouse, for example. Optimizes it, downloads font files at build time and hosts them with your other static assets. So no extra network requests. Okay, cool. I wonder how much of a burden fonts really are. I doubt they are much of a burden, but Next has gone to the effort to optimize them. So how does it cause it? Done no. This is correct. Hosts fonts with other static files and no additional network requests. Adding a primary font. Okay, this is of low interest to me, but I will do it anyway. App UI fonts. I think these are now showing errors, by the way. Okay. This fonts is missing. Great. So we need to create a new, in app UI, we need to create a new, okay, we'll do this then, called fonts.ts, new TypeScript file, and then we're going to import this from the Next font Google module as our primary font. In they go. Fine. And then in layout, we're going to add this. I suppose this is quite, just never really a blocker for me, loading fonts. Yes, fine, important at some point, but not. Customers won't care so much. They won't not use your product because you have the wrong font. And I'm just more interested in testing quickly and getting things out. And then this is a real visual optimization font, in my opinion. Okay, so we've added inter from fonts. Fine. Anti-alias, which has a little smoothing element. So we can go here, go to the body, and then we should, the font, I think I noticed that change. And then body, and then there's the anti-alias, there's the font inter. Okay, fine. Add a secondary font, no interest, really. Yeah, fine, as you can imagine. I suppose it's explanatory, which is good. Okay, now a logo. Okay, well, you need this. You need to do this to handle how they do things. So fine, I'll do it. And then we need to add Lusitana into page.tsx, which is there. And then add this above, welcome to Acme. So P and then strong, so it's this one here. Tailwind is very nice. Lusitana, I like how importable these things are. Yeah, that's neat. Now, let's comment it out. So now we comment in the Acme logo, which is there. There's Lusitana as well. Again, it's already set up. This is kind of the built-in. Yeah, it's quite neat. Okay, now let's check it out. There you go. That's the change. Interesting that not changed like that. Okay, now images. Now I'm more interested in images. Yep, adding a regular image. And yeah, this can be really cumbersome to have images in all sorts of different screen sizes. So yeah, so I'm pretty interested to see how Vercel does this. Yep, that's really good. All this, really good. I'm interested if it actually automatically serves them in WebP. That's really good. Otherwise, I normally convert them manually or create my own little component to do things like this. So let's use the image component. I'll make myself a bit small now. And so we look inside the public folder, and where our public assets are being served here. And then you'll see the two different images, Hero Desktop and Hero Mobile here. Okay, yeah. And then we want to import and then add the image into page.tsx. So page.tsx, which I'm just going to just going to commit to save what we've done and show the differences. Save. Okay, and now we want to import image from next image, yep. And we'll copy this over, and this is underneath the add hero images here. Cool. Desktop, hero desktop. Interesting, it's the /hero desktop. That suggests a bit like Django that it starts looking at the top of the path resolves from public. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, nice. Setting the width and height based on an aspect ratio rather than actually what you want, so that the aspect ratio matches. Yeah, and then there's hidden. Where is it? Hidden there. If it's so on your breakpoint, so on your earliest breakpoints move. If you don't know CSS they go from small to large, and you have a breakpoint at a particular point. This is a breakpoint here, and then this means so by default, whenever a page loads on and this relates to your width of your screen. This means that by default, when the width is 0 to infinity, it will be hidden. But then this modifier means that after you go to the medium width, MD, then it will become a block. And so this stands for display hidden or display none, I think. And this stands for display block. And so this is typical Tailwind syntax to add responsiveness. So good. Unsupported server. What's going on here? I think I've imported that from the wrong place. Yep. Or I've done deconstruction on it, which I shouldn't. Cool, there it is. But I don't see any. That's probably because I'm not in medium. And so let's increase this width. There you go. Nice. Okay, cool. Now let's continue. Now we'll want to add. So it looks like that. Now we want to add the mobile hero image. And yep. And this will have more Tailwind to conditionally show it. You see there, block MD hidden. So this does this covers the opposite situation, the inverted situation where you have, it starts off as a block from a 0 width, and then after you go to MD, it's hidden. And then we load this again. And so yeah, we were seeing the mobile there, and then it's hidden. Standard stuff, done nicely. I'm interested to see, so they haven't really, yes. So they haven't really shown us any of the optimization here. They've just said, put this in. I would like to know how exactly it's doing the optimization, but we'll just have to stick with it for the moment. I suppose here is why. How does it do it? I don't know. Well, probably the same thing. It downloads all the images at build time, serves them, and then you don't need extra. Well, that doesn't explain all the rest. Okay, well, that's something for me to read in the future. I won't cover it now. Okay, chapter 4. On we go. This does seem quite neat so far. I'm relatively pleased with it. This does not look neat. React can become quite messy, but I think it's relatively clear. And also, Tailwind is great, really fast for building things quickly, but it's not the it's not the most beautiful appearance. But that's fine. HTML, in my opinion, doesn't need to look beautiful. But you can do things like create components to make it much neater, which they could do here. Like just turn this into an invoice component, this div here, and then make it simpler. Okay, creating layouts, great, and layouts and pages, including some routing. Uses file system routing. I really like that. Next.js uses that well. This means you have your structure given by way the routing. The URL routing is based on how your pages are structured. Really good. Really good. I do this with my blog code designer. So here, this is actually, I compile it because it's static. I compile it to HTML, but yeah, I have markdown files which do that similarly. Great, and Nux does this well. That's also so you create separate URIs using layout.tsx and page.tsx files. Okay, so that's probably the convention. Yep, page is a special Next.js that exports a React component and is required for the root to be accessible. Yeah, okay, so you need to always use these. So page Let's have a look at it again. Page is there, layout is there. Let's create a nested route. So you nest folders inside each other, add page.tsx files inside each of them. Okay, I don't follow that entirely. What is page.tsx doing again? Sort of the home page associated with that route will be the top level page. Okay, so if we then nest it and go, if we have app and then slash zoology slash and then page.tsx, that will be a page.tsx will serve at the slash zoology. Okay, that's my assumption. Yeah, inside of them. Okay, so app dashboard. There's no dashboard yet, so we want to create a new folder called dashboard. Yeah, inside app. This is a little bit unclear because we're going to be using page routing as well as these folders, which are not anything to do with the structure. Yeah. Maybe these are standard conventional terms. You'd always use lib, you'd always use, you'd use C much, but always use UI. UI means kind of components. That's my assumption. Okay, let's add, so dashboard. It's going to be our new route. It's a folder. And then we create a new page.tsx file inside it. There we go. And paste this in. Yeah. Does our other page.tsx file use a similar page? Yes, okay. With that function of page. Okay, yeah, I get it. And visit dashboard. Yeah, okay, it was exactly as I expected. That's good. It's a good sign. It seems intuitive. There's dashboard page. Hot module reload is it working? Oh, my typing is not working. Dashboard. Yes, it is. Lovely. Okay, cool. So I have a slight criticism of it having mixing some folders which are not actual routes like lib and UI in the same folder that there are routes, but then you do have the page.tsx to distinguish between them. It's okay. Yeah, this is now they're covering exactly what I just said. It allows you to co-locate UI components test files with your routes. Not sure I like that co-location. I wonder what yeah, I don't really like that. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe I'll get maybe there are some extra benefits to all being in the same place. Okay. Let's take a quick drink. Okay, now we need to create some more routes. Actually, this is much better than using, well, I suppose it's the same as Nux. It's much better than using a specific router, just this file system. You can have routers built in, and you have to have a page with your URLs, but like a urls.py file with Django. Actually, very similar to that. So, but this file-based is nicer. File-based is nicer. Okay, so customers page. So customers, sorry, do I need to put another, I imagine that means put another folder in here with another page. Yeah, okay. So another folder here called customers, and then put the page in. We'll just copy this in, and then we're going to call this customers page. And then we're going to do the same thing for a invoices route, and go into that page and then name that invoices page. Okay, let's test them out. Customers page, invoices page. Dashboard. Yeah, dashboarder. Good. Quite, yeah, nice. See if they've done anything I haven't done. No. Okay. Now we want to add layouts. Layouts. Standard term again for kind of in Django you use a base template and you can inherit things. Yeah, so yeah. And so and UI that is shared across other multiple pages. And layout is the same concept in Next, React's meta framework. Okay, cool. Nice. So I wonder if this is shared downwards. So I wonder if everything in dashboard and then inherits layout.tsx, or everything downwards in the kind of tree. That would be neat. Or maybe there's some more neater way of specifying that you want it. Layout.tsx is that inside dashboard? Yes. And we paste in this. What's it doing? Side nav. Yeah, okay. As you'd expect. Some other component here. And then children. I wonder if that, yeah, this sounds like a slot, which we're going to put in anything that's in page TSX. Yeah. exactly as I said, anything, the pages inside, as I guessed, page inside dashboard will automatically be nested inside a layout, and it goes downwards. Cool. It's a nice thing that I'm guessing it. That shows that it's been designed to be intuitive. And just make myself a bit bigger for that point. Okay, now let's check our local host. And yeah, there's the nav bar. There's the nav bar. And something there. Yep. And then that gets, then the child here is the page TSX here, which is their dashboard page. Yeah, intuitive. I like it. And actually, this is because there is probably, yeah, there you go. There's styling based on screen size. Again, we're on the mobile or small screen, and there's pop screen. It feels very responsive. Only the page component update while the layout won't re-render. Maybe that's why it feels so responsive. Partial rendering. Only the page components update while the layout won't re-render. Nice. Okay, root layout. So our root layout is the very topmost layout here. We imported the interfont into another layout, app.layout.tsx. Yeah, there it is. Root layout is required. Any UI will be shared across all pages because it just flows downwards in the tree. And I wonder how that works when you have a layout. Yeah, that layout affects all the other layouts. So there we go. Then we can add meta, add our meta, and there's HTML body. Okay, but I wonder what happens if I put a layout. If I have another layout inside custom, so I have my dashboard layout here. If I have another layout here, I wonder what happens then. Does it override? I don't know. Was the purchase error handle? No, yes. Okay, that's chapter 4. So actually, let's just try that. I wonder what what happens when I put a layout inside. So if we go to a page if we go to invoices, so dashboard / invoices. Yep, we inherit this layout. But then what if we put a different layout in invoices here? We also inherit it. Okay. Not sure I like that. I wonder if there's a way to, so layout is a child, and then, so it goes layout, and then it detects there's a layout in the invoice, so it puts another layout underneath, and then it puts the page inside that last layout. Okay, at least it's consistent. We won't need that. Okay, start chapter 5, navigating between pages. Okay, it's a bit hot. Okay, previous chapter we created the dashboard layout and pages. Now let's add some links to allow users to navigate between dashboard routes. Yeah, cool. Next link component. And interesting, a hook to show an active link. That is interesting. This is very common, same as Next. Yeah, it makes a big difference in, I imagine it's going to be the same here, not using an anchor tag. Instead of using an anchor tag, using the specialist link component, because you load far less. It's really different. What's that? At the moment, the sidebar links use, yeah, full refresh. Okay, so let's add the link components. And client client-side navigation with JavaScript instead of actually refreshing the whole page. So where are we? Navlinks.tsx. Navlinks.tsx. Where is this? I bet it's in the library somewhere. No, UI. Yeah, it's a component. So UI dashboard. I see. I get. Yeah. Just kind of that's clicking to place a bit. So we've got our routing, all of our routes and pages here. And I would like a top-level folder for this, just to avoid this co-location over the top. But anyway, and then we have dashboard, our components, which we should probably match names to in naming to our routes, I think, for neatness. That's my sense. So we're in navlinks, and then we want to use the link component. Cool. Okay, and we've got it here. And then we're gonna these links. Okay, and then instead of this href, we want to use a link. Link. Anything else to add? No, just link and link. Yeah, that looks good. Save your changes and check if it works. What are our links, for example? Oh, in our navbar. That's the nav links. Okay. And yeah, very fast. And in contrast, without that, yeah, you see the whole page refresh. See that spinning, and then bring it back. Try again. Seems instant. Wonderful. There can be some issues sometimes with that, or when I've used Vue. But anyway, I assume Next has it sorted. Save changes and automatic code splitting. What was this? Yeah, you only want to load the. Okay, let me just read this. So automatically code splits. This is annoying with React or any single page app where you load and then as soon as you load, it's a single page app. It's just one lump of JavaScript that all gets loaded at once, and then you can move after. So that means slow first page load, but then fast after that should be. Splitting code by routes means that pages become isolated. Yeah, and in contrast, Next here will only load. It kind of runs the server, runs Node on the back, runs Node, and then when a person visits it, they just serve the JavaScript or HTML, serve the HTML, I suppose, with JavaScript that you need, not the whole application, which is really good. It means it's much faster initial page load. So splits your application by root segments. So splitting here, I suppose. Yeah, okay. I'm just explaining kind of the how it does what I've just explained. Pages become isolated. Yeah, and that's all. That is actually that's a really good benefit. Just reading that, because you could have otherwise you can in your big app you could have one error in your big single page app, one error in one part, and it will just won't work because you're loading everything at once and then serving the single page app as a kind of single unified JavaScript file. There are some exceptions to that, but pretty much. Whereas here you're just going to serve code splitting. Okay, good, really good. Oh, that's nice as well. So link automatically prefetches the code, so that'll be really, really fast for a linked route. Cool. And it does that in the background. Great. Okay. Well, really good. What does next when a link component appears and it downloads? No, it prefetches the code for the linked route. Pattern showing linked. I'm quite interested in this because this is often quite, just easy to do, but slightly messy. So use path name. Okay, it's going to be similar to hooks are very similar in React to composables in Vue. Client component. What is this? You need to turn it into a client component. That's new to me. Use client. I imagine it is not to seasoned React users, but it is me. Let's just save this what we've done so far so we can see what changes we've made. Get rid of all this. Now nav links. Okay, so we just go use client at the top. What does use client actually do? That's actually, I would like to find that out. Let's ask Perplexity, which I'm trying out. Where has it gone? With React, what does use client do? So all should be created as client components. Yes, but why wouldn't they be here? Okay, that's a great answer. Without use client, components are treated as server components by default, which means they won't be interactive after initial server render. So the component is pre-rendered for subsequent client. Okay, so that means that you load. Okay, I understand now. So this means you're saying that the JavaScript then gets sent to the user, and then they will send more JavaScript and send an amount so that it can all run on its own independently in the user's client, rather than requiring as you change routes or whatever rather than requiring you to go back to the back end. That seems okay. Well, that seems interesting. That does seem interesting. It's like almost doing a download of part of the app. I'll learn more about that. I'm interested to learn more about that. Don't fully understand yet. Don't understand why the benefits yet. Again, nav links, we want to get path name. I suppose here, because you want the current path that the user is navigating in. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, nav links, and then use path name. CLSX again. I'm obsessed with CLSX. CLSX, class X. I don't mind using it here. And then we have this conditional. Yeah, cool. We have this conditional class again. So class name. Where does it go? In here. Let's just make this a bit. Okay, let's just copy that again and paste it over. CLSX. And so whenever the path name, this is identical to Vue's class bindings. Whenever the path name here, which is not your composable, your React hook, equals the link, then it's going to equals the link. So whenever you're on the link whenever you're on the page, whenever the user is on the page that the link is for, then the link will be text blue. And so go here. We're on customers. Now we're at invoices. You see it. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's chapter 5. On to chapter 6, database. Yeah, very interested in that. That's much more interesting to me, even though some in the past was quite interesting. Okay, Vercel Postgres. Push your project to GitHub. Don't care, but I do want to deploy this, so yeah, we'll do that. And I'm very interested in how we're going to connect to the database. Okay, we want to have a Vercel account, and okay, so push and then link the account. Fine, I will do that, and I will share it to Authentication. Actually, I will actually share it to a different one because I didn't use. I'm actually sure I have a. Yeah, I will not share it to that account. Okay, I have done that. Or maybe I'll have to just create another Vercel account for Authentication. Okay, yeah, no, I will not. I'll use my current account, but I need to just delete the. How do I do it? Set a new remote. Yeah, this is my normal account or private account. Okay, sharing there. Is that sharing? I think so. Now we're here in Vercel, and then we're going to create a new project. Here's some of my other projects. And then we're going to just Next.js guide. Great. Import. Next is detected. Yeah, it's like Vercel has very nice ways of deploying. Is there anything beyond just clicking deploy? No. Yeah, very, very nice. I use Vercel for photo design as well, for just deploying HTML and then running a build script to compile to Python build script to render everything to HTML from Markdown. That's our idea. Deployment started. Great. Yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. It's quite impressed with Next so far. I'm interested to see how complex it gets with the database in particular. Okay, we'll sort of leave this. It's almost ready, I suppose. Normally takes about a minute. Yeah, and whenever this is really good, whenever you push changes to your main branch, Vercel automatically redeploys. It's wonderful. Okay, now are we done? Oh, it failed with error. Huh. What was the error? Very interesting. And we may need to debug it then. Interesting, because I followed the. Is it just because I haven't committed all the? No. What is the issue? Missing connection string. I don't know why that is. And this is this because? Let's just check the guide again. Have I done something incorrectly? Next.js dashboard is detected. I did this. I imported the Git repo. Set the project name. I think that's because I have a folder inside the folder. It's Next.js guide. Or potentially, let's check that out. Next.js guide, and they have Next.js dashboard. So I may need to. A bit surprised I need to do this, but I may need to edit this to no, don't need to do this. Okay, I'm a little surprised by that. Let's see if let's just do a quick search. Otherwise, I'll leave it for the moment. Next.js Vercel guide missing connection string, which sounds database related to me, but maybe it's not. Next to Vercel doesn't seem like there is anything, so I'm kind of happy to ignore this and move past it. /seed. Do I see an error in /seed? Yeah, so it looks database related to me based on my first look here. Connection string. Well, seems like an error in the Vercel. Let's see if there's in the Vercel docs. Is there a? Can I see this online? Let's just search Next.js dashboard on GitHub. No, this is not the. Okay, cool. Next learn. This might be the connection string. That might be it. Create database. Yep, this is it. It's perfect. Okay, so that's good. There is a bug. So we need to create the database, then deploy it. So we'll follow that. Cool, to identify that bug. So, or to read that there was that issue. So now let's continue to dashboard. So we're going to create a date. Okay, we do this first step. So create the Postgres database with Vercel on the platform. How do we do this? Connect. I'll just kind of ignore this and just no. Okay, there it is. And something about connect the database. Going to the next step, setting up your database. So we're looking for storage in here, storage. Okay, and now create database. Let's go Postgres here. Oh, okay, doesn't work. Create database, Postgres, except it doesn't matter. I'll just go where I am. Just go in Europe. Do they want us to give a specific name? Next.js dashboard Postgres. Next.js dashboard Postgres. Great. Yeah, this probably is where the error comes from. Because the connection string is probably in there. Interesting that it looks like they're using a. They want us to use not a local database, but they want to use one in the cloud. I'm not sure about that. It means you always need to have an internet connection to do any development. I like not always needing to have that. Okay, cool. Make the store available to all, I suppose. I should see if they give any. That's fine. It's connected. Okay, I'll just go through this. So it connects to all. Cool. Okay, there's our connection stream. And what do they want to do? They dot these different styles. This was how you do it for Prisoner, which I'm very interested in. Drizzle. And now this is what we want here. So I'll copy this snippet, rename it .env example to .env, and then paste the copied. So these are our local environment variables, our secrets. Where is example.env? Probably top level. There it is. Rename this to just .env, and then paste this. Did they want to just paste it over the top? Or, yeah, I'll just paste it here. Cool, there it is. These are all secrets. I'll delete these after, so keep them secret. Auth secret. No auth secret yet. Okay, finally, maybe this will allow us to use it locally. Yeah, we'll need to, I'll do that as bad practice. We want to make sure we've got git ignore here, so make sure no. Okay, so we're just deleting that, that's fine. You don't want to commit your new env example, your new env to this, to the internet, to your GitHub repo. Okay, and I'll install Vercel Postgres SDK. Lots of stuff going on here. New terminal, and then I just need to get inside this, I suppose, and then install Postgres. Oh, not install. Broken lock file. Seriously, okay. Well, lots to install. Okay, fast. Great. Now, so we could just try deploying now that we've gone past this. I'm also going to thumbs up to thank him. Thank them both. Yeah, let's just try see if the deploy works now. So where are we? Go back to we're in here. Go back to the Next.js guide, and now we'll redeploy. So I'll just do the simplest way by pushing again. Let's get rid of warp. If I can open the right folder, and doesn't bother me, and then commit and push, and so this will trigger a new deploy from Vercel, or should do. Pushed, and there we go. There's its trigger. It triggers. We'll wait a few moments for this. So we're still building. Let's refresh it to see if any more action. Looks good. Yeah, cool. That worked. So the bug was the guidance. Here it is, deployed online. Yeah, Vercel's. It's a great company. I really like using them for front ends generally. Okay, let's just check it out. So it's here. Great. This is it. Oh, interesting. There we go. There's the image. It looked like it hadn't loaded for a second. Nice. Very nice. Let us continue. So that did work, and now we want to seed the database. So by this, it just means seed. It means populate your database with sample data. So I've spotted that already. There's a folder called seed. So that will run lots of SQL commands to load in data. Let's see what they want us to do. So there's an app called seed inside app folder. Let's just make this a bit smaller. Nope, wrong way. App, and then seed. There is a route.ts. Okay. So this creates a server-side endpoint. Okay, nice. Kind of our endpoint that we can access in the browser to start populating database. Oh, that's very simple. So you just need to visit seed to seed it. That's nice, rather than you having. That's actually a nice way to create a tutorial rather than having the person paste all this in. Or having them run a particular function. Everybody knows how to visit a URL. But yeah, really don't like how this is calling raw SQL. If you wanted to change some field here, I suppose this is just seed scripts. It's just seed scripts, it's okay. Okay, so we're running here, and then we'll see, there you go, seed is successfully just been visited because we called this seed user function. I wonder if in the terminal shows us anything about that. Yeah, there you go. No, it doesn't show us anything. Oh, that's not actually where our app is running. Here it is. Doesn't really show. Okay. We can delete this file. Oh, we can delete the seed file. Okay, great. I will delete that. And I suppose we can delete the seed there as well. Great. Okay, delete seed. Okay, time to take a quiz. What is seeding in the context? That is populating the database with initial set of data. Correct. To reveal your... Okay, just some issues. There we go. Exploring the database. Okay, so the seed, I suppose, ran on... We've seeded locally, but I suppose it... no, the database is we've just deployed... I suppose seed, we've deleted it now, we can't tell. I suppose, yeah, we're using this database. The database is not running locally. The database is running in Vercel. So this is a bit confusing because we have a local version of code that is running in my computer, but then we have another version of code that is running on the internet, and from the local environment we have now just seeded that database running in remotely here. And so if we go back to Vercel as they instruct us to do, and then I guess visit storage, yep, and data. Oh, it is nice that you can. They're going to have a graphic way of doing it. Data, browse, choose a table. Cool, nice. That's oh, this is not a very nice view so far, but okay. This is the tutorial creator. What is going on here? There, that's a bit of a styling issue. Okay, cool, cool. So this is our dev database. You can view, yeah, I'm not going to bother doing that. Cool, so we can run queries in here. What's the table called? Users, so just go select, this is writing SQL if you don't know, from users. Will that run? Do I need, yeah, there you go. There are the users, only one user, all from customers. Select all from customers. Yep. Okay. Good. So far, database structure seems okay. I would prefer to run it locally. There's probably a way to do that. Let's do it. Which customer does this invoice belong to? Okay. Oh, here's the query to run. Let's just paste that in. So customer name from invoices, and then you join table together where the particular custom ID is this, and then we can see where an invoice amount is that. Oh, where's the syntax error? NT. Don't see it. Okay, that's strange. So no, none, according to this. Which customer does this invoice belong to? No one. Is this actually just due to that? I'm not going to read through, so I'll just say none. Okay, that isn't an option. They provided any extra info? Nope. Let's guess it's Delba. No, it's someone else. Okay, well, let's continue. Chapter 6, fetching data. Good. Chapter 7, fetching data. Okay, so we'll learn about APIs. Great, there's going to be an ORM here. That's what I'm really looking for. A noise there. Great, I'm glad there's going to be an ORM here. Interested in server components. What network waterfall, I suppose that's just the loading. When you load your tab, for example, there is this is often called the waterfall. You can see here. And this. And JavaScript pattern. Okay. API layer. So yeah, API provides endpoints for you to call, endpoints on the back end for you to call. You can create API endpoints using route handlers. Okay. You'll need to create logic. Yep, with an ORM. Logic to interact with the database. Yeah, so the standard in your Django views, for example, through your models, if you're using an ORM. React server components, you can skip the API layer and query your database directly without risking exposing your database secrets to the client. That is very interesting. I'm aware that one can do that, but I don't know how. Which of these, yeah, you should see those server components. In which of these scenarios should you not query your database directly when you're fetching data on the client? Yes, because otherwise you'll expose secrets. React server components. Okay, so support promises. Execute on the server. Great. So what I guess they are then is that they're kind of a React component that runs on the back end, the Next.js backend, and then renders HTML with JavaScript, which then is sent, meaning that you don't have any, meaning that there's no Yeah, no possibility of environment variables. Let's see. Cool. What's one advantage of using React to fetch data? That would be true. That's also true. It automatically protects you. No, that wouldn't be true. Require you to use it. That's not a benefit. Okay. Using SQL. Yeah, SQL is great. SQL is really great. I've written lots in my time. But ORMs are a nicer wrapper which make refactoring and provide a lot more clarity about what SQL is doing. It's really easy to, yeah, completely agree with this. One should definitely understand it. But if you write everything in SQL, it's very easy to write messy code that becomes very hard quickly to understand. Much worse than most languages, but it's also a very effective language. Okay, looks like they're going to be doing lots of things in what I would say is pretty raw SQL. That's okay. You can call SQL inside any for the moment. Now just navigate the components, we've kept all the data, and you can import them into the components. Okay, what does SQL allow you to do? Fetch all your data indiscriminately. Fetch and manipulate specific data. Fetching data for the dashboard overview page. Let's fetch some data for the dashboard overview page. And navigate to page. Oh, do not want to edit this. Really don't want to edit the environment variables. See this going on. So if we go to page.tsx, one negative, you're going to have to look at the route here to get the right file. But there we go. Dashboard, page tsx. Paste the following code. This is an async component. That's not particularly extravagant, but is there? Yeah. Spend some time exploring it. Let's make me smaller as well. Yeah, it's not very. It's fairly standard. Page is an async component. There it is. Allows you to use a wait. And then we're going to have these extra, I suppose these are going to be server components. To fetch data for the revenue chart, import the fetch revenue function from data.ts. Okay. Fetch revenue from, no, let's just copy it in as rather than me typing it out with loads of errors. From app/lib data. Okay, and then we just fetch the revenue. Let's have a check that out at the top of the page, outside of the return. Let's check out what that does. Okay, so it selects from our database all from the revenue table, and then we're gonna once a timeout here, but thrown it out, and then returns data.rows. Fine. Uncomment the revenue chart component. It's revenue chart component there. And revenue will be fetched, the page runs, revenue fetches, and then revenue chart is rendered with that revenue passed as a prop. Why would you not put this? So yeah, question, why would you not put that inside the revenue chart? Well, because maybe in some instances you want this revenue chart to be generic, so maybe in some cases you might kind of not need to fetch the data. Let's actually see again what's in it. Yeah, and the chart is just focused on the visualization rather than fetching as well. It's all right. Okay, check localhost for our recent revenue. I see nothing. Let's try refreshing. Nothing whatsoever. What is that? Why is that? Is there an error somewhere? Not that I see. Let's just try refreshing or rerunning the app. Something is happening, but no recent revenue. Didn't match the client properties. Interesting. May need to search this again on the browser extension installed, which messes up the HTML before React. I wonder if this is to do with some browser extension I have here. Let's just try a different browser. And nope. Do I have Chrome installed? No. Well, we can see the component, but it's just not running the fetch correctly. Okay, let's search again. Vercel, you should test your guides a little more. But yeah, maybe this is like a meta. Actually, have I just got an error here? Let's check my syntax. That's most likely. Fetch revenue from @lib data revenue fetch revenue. Await fetch revenue. App/dashboard page.tsx. Maybe I didn't run the SQL correctly. Don't think so. Definitely on localhost. Okay, need to test again. Search again why that is. Next.js dashboard. Maybe we can check out that same GitHub repo. GitHub Next.js dashboard. Okay, Vercel Next.js Looks like I'm not going to be able to find that really very easily through this GitHub search. Okay, that's it. And then so just go back to that bug, and then we'll search here for fetch. looks like that. Oh no, nope, it isn't that. Don't have any data. Maybe this is me. Seed1 users. Stop the server. Run the seed again. Actually, let's see if I have any data on the. Well, yeah, I had none. So no invoices. So I have no data. So because yeah, this is why. Let's choose a table. Invoices. Okay, there's even invoices. Do I have any revenue? Yeah, I have revenue. It's just that query didn't run. Bit unimpressive from Vercel. Yeah. Okay, so let's try. I guess I need to bring back the seed file that I deleted. Let's undelete this. App seed, or just copy it and go back into it. So app/seed/root.ts. So app, and then we need to create seed, and then root.js. Is it JS or TS? I think JS. This is looking in my TS TypeScript, and paste this back in. I think the issue is not actually running the seed. I think it's something else. But this is a good. Yeah, there are always programming issues. Okay, still not sure here. Let's read this. Invalid HTML nesting, that might be the most likely. Okay, let's just comment this out. Let's just let's comment that out again. Okay, now we comment it back. Recent revenue. You just don't see anything. So is there any actual thing in revenue? We refresh. Okay, I suppose because, let's see if we get any data here. I won't see that here. I'll see it in the. Yeah, so we've got data here. So it's data is being loaded. We've got data in our database, so we don't need our seed. We can get rid of that again. And it's just not being shown in the revenue chart. Uncomment this chapter in chapter 7. Okay. Have I misread something? There we go. I think. Uncomment the code inside it. Just misread it. Got it. Okay. That was a classic error. Not reading carefully. Cool. Okay, now we should see some revenue. There it is. Super. And a bit messy there. But anyway, it'll be fine. I mean, you've got that bit of a comment left. Cool. Let's just say that to go. Revenue. Added red chart. Good. Let us proceed. Yeah, I suppose most of that's a good tip for programming and debugging. Most of the time, it's the look at the simplest possible reason first. Have you forgotten to add the code? I kind of did that a little bit, but not clearly enough. At the start. Okay. Fetching data for latest invoices. You'll need a SQL query and then do the order by. So, yeah, don't use JavaScript. Use the back end to do as much data operations as you can. It's neater, easier to test, and faster. This is the query we need. Okay, cool. So we're gonna already it's got that. So go back to our page, and then import it. And we'll get the fetch latest invoices there. And then we need to feed that data properly. Uncomment. Also need to uncomment the relevant code. Don't make the same mistake. And get these latest invoices in. Okay. Latest invoices there. Uncomment the code. It's fine. Down we go. Cool. Go back to the page. There they are, latest invoices. Now fetch data for the practice. Fetch data for the card. Okay, so total amount of invoices collected, total amount of invoices pending, total amount of invoices. Fetch card data. So same. It almost seems to be exactly the same what we need to do for the card component. And where are we? Yeah. So back in page. Fetch. Have they actually provided it for us? Fetch card data. Does it fetch card? Yeah. And here's the SQL. And what do we actually need? They want to fetch all and then use JavaScript. Cold display. Okay, so it looks like we just needed to get that and then repeat the process of uncommenting out the cards. Okay, we need to destructure them. Fetch, which they were going to return here as number of invoices, total paid invoices, total pending. Cool, so we'll just need to destructure this. Is there something more? Fetch card data, no, that's it. And so const, and then fetch card data with these, and then await fetch card data. Cool, now let's total paid invoices there, total pending invoices, number of invoices, and then one more card here to the customers. And I would like it to have the same, in the same inline format as the others. Cool, let's see how they go. These are the cards, great. This font really doesn't work for me here. But anyway, it's a custom font, so that's wonderful. And it doesn't matter here. Okay, so expand and toggle. Let's see if I've missed anything here. No, it's exactly what I did. Great. The page should look like this. However, two things. The data requests are unintentionally blocking each other, creating a request waterfall. Yes. So this will run, and then once it's finished, this will run, and then once that's finished, this will run sequentially. So if your data pre-renders routes to improve performance, this is called static rendering. So if your data changes, it won't be reflected in your dashboard. Something by pre-renders routes. So it just renders the data as HTML, and then if you change on the underneath, so if we change pending, for instance, in the data invoices, and can we change this inline? No. Okay, we can write SQL to do this, but I'm not going to do that here. Yeah, it says it's not real-time updated. Cool, request waterfalls. Yeah, so this is what I explained in the network tab. How do they, and this is what I've just said, we wait for each, it's a waterfall. Yeah, there may be cases where you want waterfalls. We get, as I said, a user ID, and then you want to get their profile picture, then you want to get their baseball team. So I wonder what they're going to say here. When one you might use one to satisfy a condition before making the next request. Parallel, yeah. Promise all, yep. So do all the requests at once because these aren't dependent upon each other. Fetch revenue, fetch latest invoices, fetch card data. And so we're going to create a new use promise all in fetch card data. Let's go to fetch card data. And then where are the, oh, just want to get it all. Invoice count promise, these promise to all. Yeah, okay, it's just showing us how we do it. I haven't read it. We're already using promise to all in the fetch card data function. Yep, so the browser just sends them all in parallel. And now, I should move this more again. Now, let's continue on to chapter 8. So we're roughly halfway, no, we're less than halfway through. Okay, so how long have we done? An hour and a half here. So I guess it will take about 38, whatever that is. An hour and 90 minutes times 3. So you've got another 3 hours to go. Cool. Let's start chapter 8. You fetch data for the data dashboard, for the dashboard overview page. 2 limitations: unintentional waterfall for requests, and the dashboard is static, so updates to the data won't be reflected. Although you should be able to, I guess you should just be able to refresh the page, but the user won't know that. So what static rendering is, what dynamic rendering is, simulate a slow data request. Okay, static rendering, I know what this is. I use this. It essentially means you don't have any data, you don't have any changes. You have no changes in data when the user visits your website. Faster websites, for example. Typical would be HTML. Data or no data that's shared across usage, such as a static blog post, like phonedesigner.com, my product here. This is all static. You can still have things which are dynamic, like this. We'll send a request if you subscribe, but all of this data is static. It's not changing, and that means you can load it. It can be very, very fast. Let's keep it open in case we need for more bugs. Okay. And they can be cached as well. Opposite is dynamic rendering, and that's when when there's anything loading from the database, such as when you may have anything. So, for instance, with Photon Designer, if you've just saved something to the database and you want to see a list of all the things you've saved, then you need to update. When you visit a dashboard for that, you need to show all things, the dynamic data, the stuff that has changed, and load that dynamically based on what users do, or based on what other things happen. That is dynamic rendering, dynamic rendering. Sorry, and static rendering not good fit for dashboard app because the data will be out of sync. Application will not reflect the latest data changes. Dynamic rendering. So this is when you would use a server and a backend. If you don't have a dynamic data, there's very little reason to use a database, I think. there would be, of course, there'd be exceptions. Dynamic rendering content is served, real-time data, so user-specific content, personalized, request time information. Yeah, information that can only be known at a specific time. Okay, can only be known at request time. Database schema can be known before. Is this a URL path can be known before? Cookies and URL search, because that's what the user is actually visiting in the particular page. Simulating a slow data fetch. What happens if one data request is slower than all the others? Yeah, so here's the part that we have to do, that we will uncomment now to simulate that in revenue chart. Was it in revenue chart? No, fetch revenue, not the component. Page, fetch revenue, and let's actually save this where we've done so far. Chapter real, chapter 7, so we'll just call it chapter 7. We've done. Okay, we're on chapter 8 now. So artificially slow. There it is, it's now slow because of that timeout. Now we'll open the dashboard and we'll see it takes much longer. I've still got this issue here with this. Maybe I need to just get rid of that and try. Maybe that's, yeah. Okay, comment down below if you know why this is happening. Sounds like some browser extension is messing around with this. I'm not going to look into that, but it doesn't seem serious. Anyway, let's see the network again, and we'll look at the requests. You can see this is blocking in the waterfall, then the remainders happen. Data fetch completed after 3 seconds will show there. Artificial 3, and so only as fast as your slowest data fetch when you're with dynamic render. Well, not always, because you can load things in the background. Streaming, that's going to be great to do. So next, start chapter 9. Okay, so we'll just refresh this. Let's just go chapter 8 done. In the previous chapter, so streaming. Yeah, I've got lots of guides on streaming, for example, with Python. I use streaming for Photon Designer to send chunks. The most recent one, actually, there's a video I'm about to release on streaming. So this polling is not streaming, but inline suggestions for your Django app, I think that uses streaming. Stream. Maybe I just did a single request, actually. Yeah, but streaming your voice clip, for example, is using streaming. And so you can render you don't want to, if you're creating an hour audiobook, for example, you don't want the user to download that entire audiobook. You just want to send the next chunk and play that next chunk. And then also there's a good guide here, which not many people have seen, on streaming AI chats using Django in 5 minutes. And using the built-in HTTP response. If you're into Django, and here's a little example of that. And we should see it streaming. There it's streaming, and I'm not waiting to render the whole thing. Okay, and back to the guide, back to the Next.js Vercel guide. What streaming is? Yeah, I'm excited to do this. To stream with Next. Chunks, so this is what I've been mentioning. Send small chunks and progressively stream them as soon as they're ready. And prevent blocking. Each component can be considered a chunk. That is cool. What is the advantage of streaming? Not to do with security. Not rendered only after the receiving control. That's the opposite of streaming. Rendered in parallel, reducing the overall load time. Okay, streaming a whole page with loading.tsx. In the app dashboard, create a loading.tsx app dashboard, and this is going to be a route called loading.tsx. Yeah, .tsx, and paste it in. Function loading. Cool. Oh, that's interesting. That's that's very odd. This must be a built-in React, not React, Next.js thing to have a loading. Okay, to have a loading spinner when there's ongoing requests. Okay, that's quite neat. Given that you're going to want it very often. Okay, yeah, special Next.js built into suspense. Let's see if I can, because it's static. It's shown immediately. User doesn't have to wait for the page to. Yeah, cool. Okay. Show a loading skeleton instead of the. It's interesting that components can be considered chunks in themselves. Loading skeleton is a simplified version of the UI. Yeah, here are many. Here's with Daisy, for example. Daisy is a Tailwind component library that I like a lot. Skeleton. So, for instance, showing this when something is loading. It's a nice way to tell someone that something's loading rather than just making it unclear whether something is actually coming. It looks like we have some skeletons here. So in the loading TSX file, import, I should just copy this over. Okay, dashboard skeleton from skeletons here. Okay, which is in this app UI component. It's going to be probably in dashboard. Where is it? App UI. It's under skeletons. Okay, and now refresh, and loading will run. Oh, that's not working. Did I go to the right place? Loading, dashboard skeleton. Oh yeah, very nice, and elegant skeletons as well. Let's do that again. It's very nicely done. Okay, fixing the loading skeleton bug with root groups. Yes, because we will just apply that. So if we go to, it will apply, this is applied in because this is the special Next.js file, just like page is a special Next.js file and layout is a special Next.js file. It will also go downwards and apply to page.tsx. I think this root group is also going to answer if you heard what I was saying earlier about layouts applying to everything. I think this is going to provide a way to specify that. That's my intuition, specify to which it should apply. Level higher, it's also applied to those pages exactly. We can change this with root groups. Create a new folder called /overview inside the dashboard folder. Okay, not immediately a fan of that syntax, but there we go. Overview, move loading and page.tsx inside the overview folder. Yep. That will only apply to your dashboard overview page. Why? What is the dashboard overview? Okay, so if we create another file called overview, what is overview here? So if we just refresh the dashboard. Okay, it's applying to dashboard. Okay, so this, right, that's a little bit implicit. I'm not such a fan of that. So that means that this will only apply to dashboard when, yeah, and okay. And then we would have another file called overview inside customers if we only wanted something to apply to customers, I understand. So now if we go to customers, for example, that won't run. It will just go immediately, yeah, should be dashboard/customers. Dashboard, yeah, that runs immediately. Whereas if we put an overview inside that, then it would only apply. It's a root group. I wonder if that overview is, you can name it whatever you want. I wonder, let's just check that out. Root group. Okay, the convention, yes. Folder name, marketing, shop. Yeah, so you can name it whatever you want. It doesn't need to be overview. Okay, there'll be, that's good. That's okay. That's all right. What happens if you have an overview and you have marketing and shop inside the same dashboard? I guess you get a problem. Let's just try it actually and see what happens. Another one called shop. So you've got two of these root groups inside the same. Will this cause errors? Not immediately. Dashboard. Yes. Two parallel pages that resolve to the same path. Cool. Okay. Good. So that the root group name is just for your clarity. Great. And then if we refresh, I suppose. I don't have two parallel. There we go. Let's get rid of this a bit. Tidy things up. We might do that later. Okay. That's clear on root groups. And where are we? Routing. I think we've kind of lost track. Let's go root group, overview, root group. Okay, streaming a component. So we streamed the whole page. Now we want to stream a particular component using that suspense. This is very interesting to me because Photon Designer would benefit from this more rather than me having to do it more manually. So wrap your dynamic component in a suspense, then pass it a fallback to show while the dynamic component loads. Okay. That looks very nice. Use suspense to stream only this component and immediately show the rest of the page's UI. Nice. So dashboard, overview, and then page. And delete fetch revenue. Yeah. And delete the same here. Okay, then import and wrap it around the revenue chart. That's interesting there. Revenue chart skeleton. So in overview page.tsx, importing suspense and the revenue chart skeleton. And then we're going to need to provide, yes, the fallback there. And then we're going to move the fetch to the actual revenue chart. Kind of like I mentioned there, well, exactly, pretty much as I mentioned earlier. Cool, that's nice. Nice syntax with the fallback. And we're not going to pass in that prop because it's going to do it in revenue itself. So we're going to need to take up the prop. Revenue chart skeleton, fallback. Really neat. Yeah, a lot of the time in the past I've seen, most of the React code I've seen is really nasty. So this is really nice, actually. Nice to see, I suppose, not production, but nice to see clean out React code. Okay, yeah, so now we'll do what I just said we would do. So we're going to update the revenue chart function to make it a, what am I doing? Yeah, so remove the prop here, copy this, remove the revenue here. Oh, I just specified the prop. Okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, is there an error I've made here? No, I just need to import this. Import fetch revenue, Don't care about that. Well, maybe we'll need it later, refer to it later. What's the issue here? News unused. Okay. Did it just... Ah, okay, fine. Yeah. I've completely messed up the... actually, no, I don't know why. What's the issue? Revenue. Fetch revenue. Fetch revenue. Ah, misspelled revenue. That's why. No, I haven't misspelled it. What's going on here? I'm just getting completely confused by the... Get rid of that. Okay, we've imported revenue. Fetch revenue. Listana. What is the issue here? I see. Okay, I'm just reading it as a syntax error here. Cool. Okay, now we should see the revenue, which will load. Very nice. And yeah, there's that fallback with suspense. I like it. I like it. Very UI minded. Yeah, that's nice. Practice streaming latest invoices. Okay, do the same for latest invoices. Yeah, okay, fine. Don't really happy to do it. Where are we? So page.tsx, and then a similar thing for invoices. So we'll remove the latest invoices because we're going to put that in the component. Then we're going to remove the prop because we're going to just import it. Actually, just remove this entirely. Latest invoices is here. Latest invoices, and then there's going to be one called latest invoices skeleton. Invoices skeleton here, which Next has provided us. Vercel has provided us. Delete this. Latest invoices. We need to then import latest invoices from where? Delete this. It's going to be in where is revenue? Latest invoices is that? Why is there an issue here? Ah, because the prop is still set. So go to latest invoices, delete the prop, delete. That's fine. And now we need to actually import those latest invoices, latest invoice. That's fine. And we need to import this. Yep, and clear it up. But I added suspense there. Okay, now let's go again. Wonder if we see any flash of... Well, no, because they're loading so quickly. Let's just add... We need to add a fetch latest invoices, a delay here. So timeout. Set timeout for... how does this again? 1,500, let's say. And then we should see a similar... let's actually get them. No, not working. It's loading too quickly. Let's just see what the issue is. So I've wrapped it as suspense. We are fetching it. Latest invoice is fetching, and let's just again. I think it might just be out of sync somehow. No, okay, that's not working. What am I doing wrong here? Let's see what the solution is. So fetch card data. Yeah, latest invoice skeleton. Latest invoice win page.tsx. Latest invoice skeleton. There. Yep. So that all looks good. And then in the component, remember to remove the props. I've done this in latest invoices. Interesting to see. Okay, interesting to see they use that kebab style syntax for the components here. Latest invoices. Await fetch latest invoices. So what am I doing wrong here? How am I setting the timeout? That might be that I'm doing it out. Let's just duplicate. Yeah, there's no await. So let's just duplicate this. Do it to simulate that slow page at, well, that would be very slow, at 1 second. And refresh. There we go. Yeah, but just I wasn't awaiting. Cool. Wrap the card in suspense. You could fetch data for each individual card. Yeah, that will lead to a popping effect as the cards load in, which can be visually jarring. Group the cards using a wrapper component. This means the static side nav will be shown first, followed by the cards. Okay, we will do this. Delete your card components. I get the point here. I have limited interest in doing it, but I will do it. Okay, let's go. So delete your card. Where are we? Page.tsx. Those card. So we'll delete these components. I can select them. That is. There we go. And then also delete the same thing. Delete this. And then also, do we even want the... No. Yep, we'll add this. Put the suspense in here, and then add this card wrapper, which I suppose they have already created. Delete this. Where is card wrapper? Card skeleton will be our fallback, which will be in here. Card or cards? Cards. Skeleton. Card wrapper is probably going to be And that looks nice, looks fine. And then we'll need to do the same thing into the cards wrappers component. Card wrapper. Oh, card wrapper? Yep, card wrapper. Import the card data, fetch card data, then do the same destructuring as before here in the component. Uncomment it. We're in chapter 9. That is it. And see all the cards load at the same time. This is a very common pattern. There they are. And that's because the suspense is applied. The suspense will wait for all of them. Okay, cool. Now that is deciding where to place your suspense. Experience the page as it streams. You can stream the whole page. You can stream every component individually. This may lead to UI popping into the screen as it becomes ready, or a staggered effect. All subjective and depending on the particular requirements. Cool. Oh, it's much better to use suspense. There was a custom component. One of the last startups I did some work for, they had a custom component to do this, which was really not very nice and very idiosyncratic. In general, what is considered good practice when working with suspense and data fetching? Move data fetches down to the components that needs it? Yes. Use for errors? No. Avoid using suspense for data fetching? No. Move data fetches up to the parent component? No. Yeah, it's a good sign that when I first saw that, I was like, oh, this is strange that they're doing this with this generic components in the parent layer, and then they've actually decided to do this. How I would have done it. Partial pre-rendering. Okay, interested to learn about that. Okay, start chapter 10. I am going to take a brief pause. Cool, so here it is. As expected, the second and a half, and then the 3 seconds wait there. Cool, let's save that. Chapter 9 done. And continue on to chapter 10, partial pre-rendering. Oh, here we are. So, static and dynamic partial pre-rendering. Experimental feature. Okay, what is it? So you either choose between static or dynamic rendering for your entire application or for a specific route. And then if you call a dynamic function, the entire route becomes dynamic. However, they're not fully. You might want to statically render some and then fetch some. So dynamic and static. Okay, makes sense. What components would you consider static and dynamic? Things like the navbar are static. Dynamic would be the latest invoices and all this data here, whereas all this is static. Reveal the solution. Yeah, that's what we just said. Pretty much, excluding the sign out button, which is done there. Okay, so partial pre-rendering. It does seem complicated, but maybe it works really nicely. So partial pre-rendering will be leaving holes where dynamic content will load in asynchronously, and they're streamed in parallel, reducing the overall load time of the page. Okay, fair enough. Locations where dynamic content will load asynchronously. How does it work? It uses React suspense to defer rendering parts of the application until that condition is met, such as data being loaded. That makes sense. And then the static content is pre-rendered to create a static shell. The rendering of dynamic content is postponed until the user requests it. Cool. Okay, let's try it out. So in Next config, so I guess that's very similar to a Next config. Here's our Next config in the top layer. Let's just go down, and so it's there. And then import next config. Okay, and then we need to add this experimental key. Or experimental and programming is not an attractive combination for me. I'd much rather have boring, or on first glance, I'd much rather have boring and proven. What interesting, this is, oh, have I put it in the wrong place? m.mjs. No, correct. Strange that it's module. Okay, I will leave that. I think that's okay. Okay. Incremental, now add the experimental PPR segment to your dashboard layout. So layout on the dashboard. And then at the top, like that. That is not, maybe I do need to change these module exports here. Not a valid, don't know what's going on there. Okay, well, let's see if that runs, otherwise I'm just going to ignore it. And run dev there. No. Okay, I'm not going to have this experimental. Do I need it for anything else? Probably not, based on the remaining interrupters. Okay, so there seems to be a slight issue here with the tutorial again. I wonder if we... Okay, so summary of what we've done, that's all clear because we've done it. Okay, on to chapter 11. Adding search and pagination. Cool. use search params, use path name, and use router. So starting code, we want to go to invoices, different part, and then their page txx file here, and then paste over the top. Cool. So what have we got here? We're going to have a page, invoices, and then some search and ability to create an invoice. Nice. And also pagination here. URL search params. So these are when you have, actually I'll only here, no, we can't see any here. Yeah, they allow you to specify a route and visit a particular route with particular search params. The classic one would be here if we go cat, and then these are the search params here, cat, for example. So that means that I don't need to search cat again. I can just type cat and I'll go straight to the search result. Yeah, really useful, particularly on for sharing links and going straight to where you want. Oh, there you go, bookmarkable and shareable URLs. And server-side rendering can be directly consumed on the server. Yeah, and then tracking definitely with UTMs, which is a way whenever you click on most links, they will most have UTMs, so that will track where you've come from or can hold particular data and help people know what users are visiting and what's interesting to the user. Okay, let's add search functionality. So use search params. Okay, yeah, that's going to be very similar to that search engine example I just gave, together with use, and then use router is going to allow us to move between the routes programmatically. Capture user input, update URL, yeah. Okay, is there the user? Let's go use client again. You can use, okay, right, okay. That's, yeah, because you're using the client browser, so you can use eventlessness. Okay, I still need to get used to that a little. So we want to handle the search, so we'll pass that in and then do something with the term. And there's the event handler into our input. Passing that into the handle search. Okay, test it correctly by going into, yeah. So let's go to invoices where the page is. Invoice. Is it invoice? It's under dashboard invoices, I believe. No. Okay, actually no, maybe we're just not running the environment. And we should go to invoices, here it is, and then we should see the console log show the event. There it is. Okay, ignore that again. Okay, that's good. And now we want to get the update with the search params, so whatever's in here, into our search. So it's a hook here, again, very similar to a composable, or analogous to a composable for React. And search params here. Use them. Does it actually? I wonder how it returns there. Next navigation, search params. Okay, it's too deep for me to go into it in much depth. Okay, and we also use URL search params. Oh no, in the handle search. Okay, params here. We want to import search params. Search params. It's going here. Okay, I'm missing something. Import search params. Putting search params there. Okay, and then we're creating new. Okay, so that's using the existing, and then we're creating new ones here. Okay. Why are we creating new ones that are uncertain? Okay. I imagine we're going to be, okay, and then we're going to be appending. So this is sort of like getting the use search params, getting the params on our page that the user's entered in here after as search params in the path, in the URL, and then we're going to be creating a new sort of object URL search params here, which we're then going to be appending or attaching the term to here, as we will see. There we go. And if term, so search type params set query. So that means if you get a particular term, if you type something in, then we will set on this params object the query to that particular term. Otherwise, we delete that query. There's no query. Okay, nice. All fairly clear. Add this in as well. And then we want these methods. So path name will give us more of the path from here, probably dashboard. Well, yes, definitely dashboard. That's the path. And then replace is, I imagine, a function which allows us to replace whatever the existing URL or / path is here with our next one. And here it is. Yep, just as expected. There. And path name, and then with the params. So the path name will be probably localhost. No, it'll probably be dashboard invoices. Dashboard invoices is the path name, as I said. Cool. Oh, that's interesting. What's URL and input in sync? Yeah. As you imagine. So if you visit the page, if we visit something query equals cat, we also want this invoice to show you cat. That's nice. I didn't default value. Nice. It's a good term. And yeah, just with the query. Yeah, interesting. You'd use, that's what I was thinking about. You'd use value to make a control component. So you can use default value because input will manage its own state. Nice. Okay. Update the table component. Yes, we need to actually filter through the query. If you were using a fully backend, then you would not do this client side. You'd probably do it backend. So I'm interested to see if we send a request to get just the data that we need from the next backend, or if we get all of it and then filter it through on the front end. I hope it's the backend approach. Okay, so we need to update the table approach. So let's just save this, and then so we can see the show a diff of what we're changing. So invoices page here, and then table. Invoices page. Okay, we want to get the prop here, or several search params. Okay, and then we're defining what we expect there in the params. Okay, so we can paste that over the top. That came out quite messily. Why is that happening? Okay, that's better. Just make a little space before that return. So yeah, we're going to pass search params as the prop, and then that will contain two keys, one query, one page. And then, yeah, here's suspense again for loading, same pattern as before. Okay, it's just there. Don't need to copy it in with a table. Cool. And pagination will come. So if we navigate to the table, you will see that. Let's do that. Okay, this is table, queries, current page. Okay, well then we're going to get all the filtered invoices. Okay, cool. Cool. It is going to go to the back end, I think. Yeah, really nice. Oh, and this is using the, no API, just a server component, doing straight SQL. Again, I would much prefer this if it was using ARM. I'm sure, I'm very confident there'll be a way to do that neatly. This is a messy query. And yeah, cool. Okay, great. And yeah, please, we're not loading it on the client side. Okay, now let's invoices. If you navigate to the table component, that's what I've just seen. Yeah, okay. Is there something? Oh, we just retest it. Oh, there we go, great. And I spot a fragment of a comment somewhere in here. There it is. Cool. And now go nov botany. Great. And so every search we're filtering the we're doing a query against the database. Botany. And it's doing, and here is the fetch filtered invoices. Here's the query that I like. So yeah, doing a case insensitive like search kind of query. Using the where. Oh, did I just modify that? Yeah. Cool, great. When do you use search versus search params? Aha. Okay. So yeah, it depends on whether the client or the server. There's probably maybe use search is always, maybe use X, maybe use is the prefix for when it's a client component. Let's just look again about how combining the client and the server components here. So this is a suspense, it's waiting. This is the search is a client, use client. Everything else by default is a server component. So this is a server component because by default, and there's no use client, and as is okay. And then we run this, and we can run it directly on the back end through the SQL. Okay, yep, just summarizing that in my mind. Okay, debouncing. Yeah, you want to do that to prevent only send queries after there's a little delay. So I'll add that to on every keystroke. Yeah, I'm not going to add that because it's clear from this description. So we can debounce it using use debounce. Okay, good to practice installing a package. In the dashboard, yeah, and pnpm, I use debounce. So if I'm right about, well, it makes sense, my suggestion about the prefix being used for client side, because use debounce is going to be used in search, which is client side. So that suggests that I'm right. And there we go, the search, and then we use debounce, and then we're just going to wrap this around, I think, in the function handle search. Handle search equals, and then use debounce term. Update the syntax. Yeah, and we'll need to give it a timing. Yeah, 300 milliseconds. Is that suitable? Yes, this is. What's the issue? Constant. Yeah, good. Just test that. So yeah, no query because we're constantly typing. And then there's the query. But there's no one with that name. Yeah, okay, cool. That was easy to add. That's yeah, quite easy compared to using some view use components. So it's good. What problem? So no, it doesn't speed up. No, it doesn't prevent a new database query on each keystroke. Yes. Adding pagination. Yeah. 6 invoices. Yeah, okay. Let's do pagination. Cool. So we're going to fetch the pagination. So go to invoices and then page.tsx. Invoices page.tsx. Fetch invoice pages. Actually, I'd like to have a look at this, what this is doing. Yeah, another database query. Nice. So this is another. Oh, it's actually really nice that they're removing the need for an API with these server rendered components. Yeah, it's like there are no views needed. You just, it's more like in Django. It's more like you have a direct front end like component that calls models.py. Isn't really an analogy. Nice. That will lead to fewer bugs and less maintenance. Okay, and then so we do that database query and then we fetch these. Nope, that is not what I wanted to type. Okay, there we go. And let's move this that way. Cool, total pages are there, and then we will probably do something similar. Oh yeah, we just pass it in maybe. Yeah, let's just open this up because we're going to need to. So I guess this is in. No, it's in. Yeah, pass them to pagination, just like that. And then we need to go to pagination and comment it in chapter. Oh, we're quite beyond chapter 7, but that doesn't matter. Slightly out of date. Use client, so it's client side. Is this actually the right pagination? Invoices pagination, yeah. I'll uncomment this code now. And then we want to use these, use path name, import this. And we're going to use the path name to find out which page we need to fetch for the user. Let's copy this over, pagination. And then you get a particular page in the parameters in the query. Here, using the use search parameter because it's client side, otherwise you return 1. And then create page URL. Okay, that's cool. So we will, set based on what page we're on. We'll then set the page the path and the query the parameters, search parameters to the right page. Creates an instance of the current search parameters, updates the page to the provided page number, constructs the full URL. That's what's happening here. Very similar to what we did before with where else we're using use search parameters in search, of course. And that we need to update search. When the user types a new search query, you want to set the page number to 1. Yeah. Search.tsx, and this is not where we want to be. Yeah, I think it is actually. Search.tsx, and here we want to set somewhere around here. Yeah. Params.set page to 1. Cool. So let's see if pagination is now showing up. I don't think it is. What have we done? I feel like there's a step we've missed. Yeah, here is the step we've missed. And what is this? This is like a wrapper React. Yeah, like a React fragment to show that so that you have to return 1 top level element. All pages. Okay, well let's just add this in. Yeah, it seems to be a slight error in that they didn't tell us about that earlier, but there we go. Let's see if we get some pages now. Yeah, pagination. And we can go for some most common letter, E. And pagination is working a bit. I don't like that jump at all. Yeah, but that's just UI for the tool. But anyway, you can see here the query, E, and then the page hit. So if we go to, let's go rabbit, and we go to rabbit, and then we want page 1, this will demonstrate how you can just kind of navigate to the data that you want using that search. You see? And if we just go AB, that will be, or A, that will be very common, and then go page 2, A, and then page 2, then you see we're on the second page of anything with an A. Very nice. Cool. On to mutating data with server actions. That sounds interesting. Okay, and I'll just, again, put a placeholder in so that we can then keep track of the things that we've changed. So what are server actions? I guess they are doing things on the server. Okay. They run asynchronous code directly on the server, no need for API endpoints. Awesome. Instead, asynchronous functions that execute on the server and can be invoked from your client or server function components. Okay. I'm imagining, yes, I'm imagining kind of like a bit like the loading. I'm not sure yet. Okay, let's make it smaller as well. Let's get serious. And there we go. Using forms with server actions. So yeah, our page, use server, interesting, and invoke the action using the action attribute. Okay, don't follow exactly why we do that so far. Also deeply integrated with caching, great. Let's revalidate the associated cache. Okay, what's one benefit? Improved SEO, no. Progressive enhancement is one. Potentially faster websites. I'm going to say progressive enhancement, like they said here. No, like they said here. Okay, so we're going to do CRUD. Let's indeed see how it all works together. Create a form, create a server action, and then invoke it from the form. Interesting. Inside the server action, extract the data from the form data object. So it's almost like this server action is sort of like a function. It seems to be like it's a function that is an API route as well. That will, yeah, sort of like a built. It's almost like a synthesized API route, but also a function. Very interesting. Okay, let's go into, let's see how it works. So back where we were, so let's just go to, or in app, and then invoices, app, dashboard, invoices, add a new route called, I'm in the wrong place. Invoices, add a new route segment. Yeah, route segment called create. Okay, so another folder because it says new route segment. So create, and then obviously new page tsx. .tsx. What is the name for this? It's like when building. What's the name for this type of thing? When a page, I suppose. When building Next.js apps, what is the general term for page txt files? Pages. Yeah, that's I like that lot. Really nice. Pages. Okay, and paste this, and then spend some time looking at it. So customers, fetching customers, breadcrumbs for these routes. Interesting. What is that? Okay, so this is just, these are props that are going to be for our breadcrumbs. And then we're going to fetch customers into this form. Is this a particular? Yeah, this is a component of ours. And then here's where the thing will happen. Very interesting. I don't see, this just looks like, okay, we're showing options here. I don't see what, it just seems like a standard bit of just like rendering HTML here. So interested to see what happens. Fetches customers, passes it to the form component to save time. Yeah. Has a select, has an input, has a button with submit. Where is the button? Probably down below. There it is. Is that a special component as well? Doesn't seem, no, doesn't seem that special. Okay, so I see all the code, but I don't see how it's going to do anything at the moment. Yeah, nice. Elegant. Oh, nice with the icon in the front. How have they done that? Just with amount. Yeah, label HTML4 and then some, yeah, spacing. Cool. Actually, where is the spacing? Currency dollar icon. That must be positioned in a particular way. Translate Y. Yeah, there we go. It's absolute. And then there's some spacing here, padding left of 10. So if we were to get rid of that padding, it's going to overlap. And this, yeah, still nice. Okay, continuing. Examination over of that. Now, okay, yeah, cool. So I wasn't missing something. There's no server action yet. Okay, so now we get to see the server action. Very interesting. Actions.tss. So we go to lib, which is sort of our general action, general, not utilities, but sort of server related code. And then we're going to create actions.ts. Okay, and we add the use server at the top. You mark all exported as server actions. These server functions can then be imported and used in client and server components. You can also write them directly inside server components by using use server inside the action, but for this course we'll keep them organized in a separate file. Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to export a function called create invoice and then import that. into our form. Get a little too much going on here. Let's just in form, and then we're going to import create invoice from our actions. Import create invoice from app lib actions. Yes, and now form action. Interesting. I like how this is HTML-esque focused. Oh, action equals. Oh, there isn't one here. Oh yeah, that's just there's no action attribute, obviously. Action, and then create invoice. In HTML, you'd pass a URL. Yeah, that's the endpoint. Yeah, the action is normally a special prop. React adds something extra to that. Okay, behind the scenes, server actions create a post API endpoint. This is why you don't need API endpoints manually when using server actions. That is really important. That's a really important explanation there. Yeah. Very good. Okay, now we extract the data and just paste over this. There we go. Form data comes in, and then from that form data, we get the values for the key. Cool. Entries, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and submit the form. Always good practice to try things. That didn't work. It should be, it's a server action, so it should run on our server, not on our browser. Cool, there it is. There's what we expect. And validate the data, essential, must be done. And our invoices table, or yes, auto-generated, ideally, with your IRM. And so we go to definitions in our lib. Yep, and then find the invoice, which is there. String union type. Yep, cool. Great. Stored in sense. Stored in sense. Okay, we just don't have that for whatever reason here. So far you only have the customer ID, yep, amount, and status from the form. So we'll also need, well, we need to, that should be created when if you're using a Django, that would be auto-created when you save the model. I wonder if we need to create that automatically. I sense we won't need to. Cool. So we add a console log type of string and not number for amount. That is because input elements, yeah, I know that. That's pesky. Manually validate using a type validation library. Zod. I have never heard of that. Type script first validation. Okay, great. We'll use Zod. Import Zod. Okay, this is like forms.py with Django. And where are we? Actions. And we're in actions. Here's our raw form data. So we just want to import. Got it. So we need to install Zod, don't we? Okay, well, I'm just not going to install Zod. I'm going to just assume that it's been pre-installed because there's no instruction for it. So Zod, so this is the form schema. Again, it would be nice if this was auto-generated. I wonder if you can with an ORM. Django, you could. But, so this is what we expect. Or just auto-generate it from the, why can't you auto-generate it from the definition? Here, no idea why you can't do that. Is there any reason? ID, customer date. Sure, you could, if you don't need some particular fields, there should be a way to get rid of them, but if it's identical, I don't understand why. There we go. Well, there we go. Okay, so it is omitting the ID, that's nice. So we're not going to have to create a, there we go, create a UUID on the front end or anything like that. And we don't need the date either because that will presumably be automatically created. Cool. So now we pass raw form data and create invoice. We are going to, okay, yeah, and this will return the cleaned content here. Create invoice, parse. So this is our schema, and then it will parse it, and it will throw errors if these didn't exist. Storing values in cents. Yeah, Stripe does that as well in pence. Okay, that's fine. Amount in cents. Okay, it's not going to do it. It's not going to set a date automatically. We need to set it on this server action. But it's, yeah, you need to remember this is in the back end, so that's okay. That's a good thing. But it would be nicer if it was done automatically. Perhaps, again, I'm missing an ORM there. Inserting the data into your database. Now this is exciting. Very cool. Okay, so right, this is a raw SQL. I definitely would try to avoid this, but it's fine for what we're doing. Let's get rid of this console log. Yeah, the opportunity for bugs here is high. This should also be tested. Okay, so is that it? Very interesting indeed. What have we done here again? So we just, let's create invoice from actions here. just passing form data immediately from that. Parsing the form data is there. It's very intuitive. It's like you'd forget that there's a front end and a back end. Cool. Okay, interested by that. Revalidate and redirect. Client-side router cache that stores the root segment in the user's browser for a long time. This allows quick navigation and reduces the number of requests. Yeah. We will need to, since you're updating the data in the invoices root, you'll want to clear this cache and trigger a new request to this server. You can do this with the revalidate path function from Next.js. Seems a little messy, but you can get it. Revalidate path. What are we exactly doing here? Revalidate path, obviously purge cache data on demand for a specific path. Okay, so that means that you won't, if you go back, you won't. So if we were to do this now, I guess this will work. Create an invoice. Okay, it doesn't work yet. Not a good example yet. Okay, but essentially we'll just clear the form, I suppose. Fresh data will be fetched. Okay, kind of understand that. Because this is based on the path. When the database has been updated, the dashboard invoices will be revalidated and fresh data will be fetched from the server. Okay. And we redirect the user back to the dashboard invoices page. Yeah, I think somewhat get that. Let's just proceed anyway. Okay, test it out by adding a new server action. Okay, customer Amy Burns, amount 50,000, pending. Yeah, it's pending. Create invoice. Great. There's the amount. Oof, that's very nice. And then if we go back, yeah. So I reckon if we didn't have that revalidate path, the form would stay. Let's check that out. Amy Burns, 10,000, paid. And then if we go back, no. Okay, I'm unsure what it does exactly. I'll leave it for the moment. It'll probably become clear. It may become clear later. Wow, that's very cool. This server action. No API. Like no endpoints. Exciting. Interesting. What can I pass here? So it's a post. This is a post request. So it's sent this. We go here. This is on the client side, and then by doing this, we immediately jump to a server action. So this is a post request, which is received in a particular place. I don't know, because there's no URL for it. And then we do the database. Oh, this is very nice. I really like this. Yes, so many times messing around with endpoints on. Yes, pretty awesome actually. With Vue or with any other framework, setting up endpoints is something I do not enjoy. Whereas this really blends front end and back end together. Pretty cool. Just changing this to an ORM here, and then kind of automating this a little bit with the form schema generation, or like just getting that inherited. Yeah, all that needs is to set these up based on what it's in the ORM. And then have the omit the necessary. Where is that? Omit the necessary parts here. Nice. Okay, updating an invoice. So we've done the C of CRUD. Now we're on the U of CRUD. Updating. Create a new dynamic route system with the invoice ID. Read the ID from the page params. Fetch the specific invoice from your database. Pre-populate the form with the invoice data. Okay. So because we fetch it, and then update it when we submit. Okay, cool. Oh, dynamic routes, great. That's good. So dynamic routes are when you essentially can specify here using this route dynamic routes, but you can specify a particular route like 321 or based on a database, or a value, a dynamic value, might be 312 there, whatever an ID, and it looks like we're using an ID here. So let's go. So this is how you do it: invoices, and then note, it's going to need to be a folder. ID, and then another folder to continue the route, edit, and then our page, page.tsx. I'm starting to really like Next. The blend between front end and back end, it's very unified. In your table component, notice there's the update invoice component. Let's find that. Let's just go to our update and I'll tell you where it is. Okay, it's in what's there. App UI invoices table. App UI invoices page, app UI invoices table. So we fetch the, all looks good, and then receives the invoice ID. There we go. So we're going to need to set that to the particular to go to the particular route. Or actually, is that going to go automatically to the route? Yeah, we're going to need to change. Okay, there we go. It's unused currently. We're going to need to change this to ID. Let's just walk through it, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Blink href. Oh, doing something else first. To update invoices button. Oh, a win button. Yeah. Okay, I was right. I think. Yeah. Update invoice. We're in the right place. ID. Okay, yeah, we're absolutely right. Yeah, we just need to edit this to add the ID and then edit after. So that will match our route here. ID, and then edit, and then that's a page. And then we do this for the others, I suppose, for reading from page params. So what is this again? This is a, okay, these are our components. So use it like front end. Yeah, front end components. Okay, this is the update invoice button. Got it. Okay, so back on page component in our ID edit page. We don't have a page here yet, but we're going to paste this page in. Breadcrumbs invoice. Okay, we're going to need an ID there. How do we get that ID? Probably from the page params. From page params. Similar to the create invoice, except it imports a different form, the edit form. That I hope that will also be a server action. I don't see any reason why it would not. Should be pre-populated with a default value. Okay, in addition to search params, page can also increase params which are used to access the ID. Okay, because so that will match. I'm guessing this allows us to page components, which this is. It's a page component. A page can allow just by having that params, you can access this ID. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Params.id. I'm right. Yeah. Cool. Okay, and edit page are in the right place. Export default. Yeah, we need to get the prop out. Params, and then we define that in. How do we define params ID string? Let's put that on the other line. So that's not very nice. Let's go get that. That's fine. And that's why. No, it's not that. That's fine. Okay. Cool. Now, continuing. Just seen we're down to running low on battery. Okay. Well, odd. I will continue anyway. So params ID, where are we here? So we need to use that now. So let's just get that out here of the params. So ID equals params. That's, if you could do it like that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Fetch a specific invoice. Yes, to fill out. Why does it say fetch custom? Oh yeah, because we're also going to use. We're using. Okay, we just hadn't used it so far. Okay, and then fetch the await promise all. So we're using that similar parallel fetching as before. Wait promise all. Get the invoice by the ID, and then fetch the customers. Why do we need the customers here? I don't know. Oh, so that you can in the form we can select which customer and their custom ID you're going to send. You're going to update the invoice for. Got it. You can see a temporary error in your terminal because invoice could potentially be undefined. Is that true? I don't see it in my terminal. No, I don't see it. Okay. Let's check the invoices, and there should be an edit button. Click to edit. Cool. And then we can change it to 10 million. Choose the customer. And the form is pre-populated. And oh yeah, let's check. Oh yeah, cool. There's the user ID. And edit. Okay, now we need to get. Oh, interesting. We use UIDs instead of incremented keys. Yeah. Eliminate the risk of. No, that's not that interesting. That's true. Auto incrementing keys. It's fine. Okay, now we need to pass the ID for users. Now we need to pass the ID to the server action. Actually, have a. So, again. You cannot pass the ID as a. Okay. Here's a special server action concept. So edit form. Where is that? Okay, it's its own file. Edit invoice form. Edit form. Actually, this is right. Invoices. Edit invoice form. Yep. And then we're going to update. Add an update invoice server action. I wonder why. This is okay. Is this actually the right? Okay, so this This is a little off here. Invoice customers, return. Why do I have this large form here and then getting a bit lost here? Okay, we're in invoices, edit form, UI. Yeah, I just don't understand why all this is not showing in there. Okay, I'm just going to follow along. So yeah, passing an argument won't work. So instead we want to have update, install update, add update invoice here from our actions, which doesn't exist yet. And then add that in for our return statement, bind it, just tidy it up a bit. And maybe it was nice how it was before actually. Okay, well, I'm leaving it there now. And then update invoice bind, okay. And then form action, what? Invoice, am I in the right place? Invoices, it just looks so different with all this extra syntax. App, UI, invoices, edit form, TSX. Okay, I will just follow along for the moment. Yeah, okay, well, we're deleting a load of stuff here, which this doesn't mention. Okay, puzzling. Also works, then in your actions TS, in here, create another update invoice. It looks like they want to put the schemas at the top. No, okay, that's fine. And then we'll create another one below, update invoice here. Customer ID, amount, since, and then they update instead. Again, there should be a way, yeah, nicer way to do this. There's some quite a lot of duplication here, but that's okay. Extracting, validating, converting the amounts. Yeah, test it by editing an invoice. So I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, there seems to be an error here. It's this, I'm missing something completely here because we've just deleted all this syntax. Right. Have I just, right, yeah, where is actually form here? Form. Okay, so I think maybe they just meant to add these in. Yeah, but it's just, this is really confusing because it's just, this should only be, this is the only thing that should be here. Okay. Let's uncomment this, delete this, add this action here, which has that, we bound it with the ID, and then we need to add this hidden input in here to keep track of the value, keep track of which invoice ID it is, which we're going to be putting up here. So let's try again. There we go. Okay, it's just really unclear here. And then try actually editing it. And okay, so yeah, so go to invoices. So Amy Burns invoice here, which is pending. But actually, it's for Balash now, and it's for more money. It's pending at 1, and it's still pending. Great, 501. Really nice. Oh, I like server actions a lot. Let's move this out of the way. A bit bigger for a while, and let's go. Update invoice is working. Check validation with Zod. And then we don't. Okay, now we're moving to the D of CRUD. Let's continue. Small again. And similar place for the buttons. For delete, we're going to do a similar thing. Delete invoice, there's ID again. Okay, we want to. Is this in the. Why are we binding here? To delete, wrap the delete button in a form element. Pass the ID. Why do we need to. Because we're going to immediately send it. Yeah, we're not going to. Because we don't need to do this in the form. We just, all the person needs is press. Yeah, there's one action. There's no of deletion. Okay, so that's why we bind it here. We bind the ID here, and then we add a form here, and then directly add the server action here. And then we're going to delete invoice with ID there, and we need to delete invoice. But yeah, we need to add this server action in. So create a new actions, create a new file called delete. We don't need to validate anything. We should. Well, no, we'll get a database error. Guess it's okay. No, actually, really need to. So what's to stop? At the moment, anyone could delete anyone. Yeah, just getting used to the fact that there are no URLs here. There's no endpoints is very interesting and unusual to what I've worked on previously. Because we don't need to. This will will prevent who can access this point. Anybody who's using the page. So how would you add security to prevent anyone passing? If we had more users, to prevent anybody giving that ID and running this delete invoices. That's another question. Okay, and now that should import delete invoice. Oh, I need to import that from server actions. There we go. Check my battery. I feel like my computer is slowing down now due to low battery. Okay. Okay, now we're on to chapter 13. Okay, so we just mutated data using server actions, now handling errors. Okay, cool. Our app is running here as before. And where are we? Dashboard. Dashboard is our dashboard there with our loading and with the synthetic weight there, the imaginary weight, and then the suspense. Cool. So in this chapter, how to use the special error.tsx. Oh, nice. I imagine that is going to be similar to here in React with the page.tsx as special files. And not found function, not found file to handle for errors for resources that don't exist. Okay, so it's probably going to be similar. Update our server action. I'm just going to copy the code below. So in our actions, let's make me smaller as well. In our actions, here we are. TypeScript. Let's remove the other ones. Just stay on actions. So what it actually wanted to do, just add try and catch to server actions. So which one? Create invoice, and then we're going to add a try around here. Yeah, try. And then if there's an integrity issue with the database, then or some other error, then it will catch it. Catch error, and then they want to return a. Okay, yeah, not the console log it because we don't. Oh, that would be helpful. I think it's slightly better like that. Message, and then I'm going to deviate slightly by going. Well, let's just copy. Yeah, an error code while creating an invoice, database error, and then we'll just give the actual very slight improvement by actually giving the specific error. Just get error because you don't know what it will contain necessarily. Why is that not working? There we go. Cool. Message, yep. And so that's added there. And then we'll do the same thing for the rest for update invoice. And yeah, try it for the wrapping around the SQL. Again, so much better to use ORM. Don't do it this way. Use an ORM like Prisma rather than running raw SQL, because Prisma or type ORM, etc. will do this for you. An error code, yeah, that's fine. Well, yeah, they will handle this SQL much more nicely and also add type, so generate types for you rather than you having to specify them. And I imagine there's probably a nice way to validate as well, but I don't know that. As in using the synthetic types rather than having to explicitly state them here. Using the implicit types. If I said synthetic, I meant implicit. Okay, and now we do one more here, which will be in the final place, probably on the delete. Yeah, and actually, I'm just going to paste this over. It's fine. Cool. Note how redirect has been called outside of the try catch block. Yep. Redirect works by throwing an error, which would be caught by the catch block. Oh, interesting. Okay, now let's check what happens when an error is thrown. We're going to throw an error manually here in the delete invoice. Okay, well, I just know that I'm not going to try that. That will just throw the error and we won't hit our try block. But I know that's how JavaScript works. Okay, seeing these errors are helpful while developing, as you can catch potential problems early. That's true. Yep. This is where next. Okay, so I guess we need to keep the error into. Well, let's leave it for a moment because we might need the error with error.tsx. Okay. It looks like error.tsx is going to be an overall wrapper, so that we don't need to specify this, and we can just, whenever there's an error like this, we show error.tsx. That's my assumption. That's good. That's neat, because error handling is always what you're going to need to do. Yeah, there you go. It's a catch-all for unexpected errors and allows you to just play a fallback. Yeah, well done. Next.js, I'm predicting it. Okay, so let's do that. That's good as well. Dashboard and invoices, error.tsx. Yeah, just in this root directory, and then error.tsx. Cool. And error.tsx in dashboard invoices. Yep. And then copy it in. Yeah, I'm really warming to Next. Just very thoughtful. Use client. Let's check it out. So when there's an error, I guess this is the special function in the special named file. Take error as the prop, and there's a reset. Optionally log the error. Okay, cool. Here's what you show, and then reset. I suppose it doesn't do anything here. No, it doesn't do anything. Form. Okay, maybe they'll come to that. Use client, so it's client component, error, and then we're going to have an error. Okay, yeah, this is our default. So we're going to need to pass a function to re-render the root segment. Oh, maybe this is, what is this function? Yeah, we're passing it here. Okay. I'm interested by what reset is actually doing here. Okay, so let me add that error here deliberately into delete invoices. We'll just save what we've done so far. Chapter, I'll just save it. Okay, and now let's add this. Oh, not that. Cool. And now we try to delete an invoice here, and then we'll see our error pop up. Invoices, delete. Great, something went wrong, one error, and that's good. Interesting, it also shows this toast here. Oh, is this? Ah, you're right. Oh, nice, nice JS. Very neat, very neat. And rather than doing it yourself, just have this file and it wraps. Very nice. I wonder if, what was I thinking here? Try again. Yeah, so what is this? I don't quite follow what this reset is doing here. I don't get why that is being able to reset how that is actually working. Is there any syntax on that? This is a function to reset the error boundary. When executed, the function will try to re-enter the. I get it, but why is just calling a function here, not actually? It's almost like it's automatically underneath closing. Don't know about that, but we could probably read more about that. So let's just accept it for what it is and then move on from mode. Okay, handling 404 errors with the not found function. Sounds great. And let's have a look around. Okay. Okay, for example, not found. This is not going to be. This is not. Doesn't exist. I wonder if we see that, and we should see that in our terminal. Oh, yeah. There you go. Cannot read because there's no ID of that type. We might see TSX because it cares, but yeah, we want to be more specific. We want to show 404. It doesn't exist, definitely. Okay, and we can confirm that the resource hasn't been found in console logging the returned invoice. I've already do that because I know that it isn't there. But instead, we can add a not found. So navigate to, again, this nice special JavaScript. So ID, edit, page, and import not found here. Page, import not found. Okay, special function from Next. And then we use if no invoice not found when we load, when the component runs. And there we go. Okay, we'll show an error. How do I, there we go. That's going to be the not found TSX in the same way. So let's go to this page. Yeah, there's the not found. Okay, but we want that nice page in a similar way. So not found, it's the same thing, same pattern. We go to edit, page, and then going to be the not found.tsx. Yeah, nice, very simple pattern. I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing that here. And then rerun the route. I can see it refreshing. Great. Did not find the requested invoice. Something to keep in mind. Not find will keep precedence, so you can reach out for it when you want to handle more specific errors. Okay. Got it. Why is this? Okay, we'll take precedence over up error.tsx. Why is this? If we get rid of this, what actually happens when we visit? Okay. So we need to call this to activate the not found. So we kind of go to this page, and then this will not. Yeah, there's no way to detect that it's not. It doesn't detect that something is not found. Yeah, so we need to call this because we go back to the. Let's go to there, and then invoices. We get the error because the error detects automatically in our terminal there. But then if we want to throw a specific not found, and there we go. Great. Which file serves as the catch-all for unexpected error? Cool. Simple and really neat. That's move on to that's chapter 13 done. Okay, continuing. So that was chapter 13. Let's just save that. And then move on to chapter 14. Start chapter 14, improving accessibility. So only almost there, 2 chapters to go. Or 3, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and now in the previous chapter, how to catch errors. That was really good. Form validation. Yes. Interesting how improving accessibility is form validation. They seem different. Server-side validation, absolutely. And the user action state hook. Okay, interested to know what that is. Okay, here's why, because we'll use this plugin to lint for accessibility. This is more, this isn't particularly important, server-side form validation. How to use the use action hook to handle form errors and display them to the users. Okay, cool. I don't actually know this with React, so I'm interested to see this. Accessibility and making people able to use it. I know that. Okay, well, let's add this accessibility plugin. I wonder, okay, this is useful. Yeah, so we'll just check when you don't have alt, aria, and role attributes. Good. Okay, so go to our package JSON. Let's just do it through the, oh, I really like this not found, which we covered in the last chapter, and the error. Very nice. Okay, so go to the package.json, not package.json, it'll be like config. Oh, it is package.json. Okay, let me add the linter here. It's maybe small. Build and then lint next lint. Cool. Do I have to install something? No, it includes it. No, I do need to install it. Okay. PNP. Make sure I'm in the right place. Yep. And PNPM lint. Ah, there's an error here. JSON. Okay, strict base cancel strict. Command failed. Okay, well, I'm just going to continue. And now we try running. Let's move this out the way. And now we'll try running PNPM lint. Cool. Okay, and then we'll test where it's not. So go to table.tsx and then remove an alt tag, remove this, and then run the linter again, and it will show an error. Okay, yeah, that's good. I'd like to expand this more to linter. Like, what would I want to know? Things like where, yeah, I feel that, okay, maybe they don't spring to mind. Just maybe, yeah, I suppose that's common, to expand your linter to check for other things in production that you want that are specific to your code base. Maybe a particular style or, yeah, missing something. Particular style, I guess, but that's a common operation. And we won't be doing that here. Anyway, so let's continue. Okay, improving form accessibility. Semantic HTML, yeah, fine. Labeling, fine. Focus outline, yeah, all good. Form validation is what I'm most interested in here. So go to our create and then submit an empty form, and then we're going to get our error page, I guess. There it is, something went wrong, which we added in the previous chapter. That's good, but we want to get actually error messages. You don't, because this is very confusing for the user and will just be interruptive. They don't know, for instance, if we just went like this, there would just be, or let's try E actually, okay, no, that's going to, and then they don't know that actually they forgot to select a customer there and an invoice status. So yeah, client-side validation standard, adding required, we'll do that. So in the create form.tsx, in the invoices, in the UI, app UI, invoices, create form.tsx, and we can delete that. And where are we? We can also add this, it's required, but let's follow as they do it. Input, just required, and we'll see the same again if we did that for amount. Yep. Server-side validation. This is, I think, I'm not sure I agree with that. An alternative. I think they're both necessary. You need to check the client. Maybe they're not. Well, we'll see actually what they mean by that. But always, yeah, it looks like. Yeah, okay. Then based on this, I disagree with them. You should always have client-side validation because you tell the user what's wrong, what you need to change. And you should always have server-side validation. That's actually more important because you do not want the data going into your database that is, wrong. You do not want wrong data going into your database. You want it to be sanitized. Let's see, yeah, expected format, exactly, because you can bypass client-side validation very easily by just seeing what request you're making in the network, and then sending a request that with whatever data you want. And you won't have these required checks which occur in the HTML. Okay, use action state hook. Cool, interested to see how this works. Use action state hook, and then add use client at the top. Why is this necessary here? Okay, we need to turn it into a client component. Okay, yeah, so I'm understanding more now that I do this. So this would otherwise presumably run on the server when the person, and then render as HTML with the JavaScript bundle of necessary JavaScript. But now we are going to, as soon as we go use client, it's going to render instead of the node server under Next.js running on the back end and then sending only the more rendered version to the front end, we're going to send more JavaScript to the front end and have less rendering on the server because it's client side, or almost everything. Okay, there doesn't seem to be I don't know the clear boundaries of that, but that's what my assumption of how it works is. And now, because as soon as we, again, like I said before, we're using this hook, very much like composable from Vue World, but the hook, yeah, as soon as anything prefixed with use, that means it's going to have to be client side. That's what I'm seeing so far. That's my reading so far. Okay, use the action state hook takes, so yeah, we can add it in here. It's going to action initial state as the arguments, 2 values, state form action. Okay, I imagine it will pick it up. The Copilot will pick up that very shortly. Nope, form action, and use action state, create invoice. So that's going to be our action, and then initial state, which we're going to define as a, where is that coming from? Initial state. Okay, I think that will become clear shortly. And then the form action is the form action now. Okay, so we're wrapping around it. We're no longer immediately doing that, calling that create invoice in our as a server action there. Ooh, very interested in server actions. Very interested indeed. I want to know how you actually authenticate these. It seems strange to me. Yeah, very, very interesting. I love the thought of not having to write routes and just having them built in. Wonderful. Initial state. Okay, initial state can be anything. There we go. Now we're defining that. We need to from app state. Okay, import the state. Initial state. Create an object with 2 empty keys. So we're going to import the state here. We're going to have to create this in our actions. Where is it? Interesting that, okay, we've got this special state. Where is this coming from? Great. So now we're here. We've just added state and import that from our actions, which we're going to define, I suppose, shortly, and then define the initial state here with typing there. Yeah, we'll review the server actions. So let's review that. So in actions, we go to actions.ts and we can use Zod to validate form data. So we're going to update the form schema here. Interesting. Okay, so this is okay, right. So we're setting the message here by changing this if the data doesn't fit the particular format, string and then error message. Okay, cool. Okay, greater than, I see. Okay, quite nice. Greater than, we're going to Z coerce and then on the amount. So it needs to, oh, no. The amount, so that amount needs to be greater than 0. Again, nice that it's built in like this. It's quite similar to Django forms in this way, but a bit neater. And then status is going to be the enum, and then we add the error message after here. Invalid type error, please select invoice status. Good. Okay, yeah, so we're just defining friendly messages. I think that's a bit unnecessary, but there we are. And now we will need to add our state type. What are they referring to as a update or create invoices? Where is this? Okay, we're just adding this from afresh. And that's what we're importing here. And then we will pass this over the top to send the state and form data. Okay, we're going to need to update this down below and change the Zod pass to safe pass. Okay, let's just copy this over and read it. Safe pass. What is safe pass doing? Safe pass will return an object with the success or error field. Okay, so it's like a standardized, a standardized way of handling it. And what am I doing here? Oh yeah, because we need to pass in the correct arguments. Form data, cool. And then if the form validation fails, return the errors early, otherwise continue. So we can just, because we're using this safe pass. Why is create invoice now? I think I've missed something off here. Accidentally deleted something here. Yes, I have accidentally deleted these two. Cool. And cool. So why is that? So I need to change this to look at the validated fields here. State validated fields there. If validated field success, because we get success from the safe pass, it returns success or error. Then if it's not that, then we return the errors. Error flattened, and then an error message. Cool, that's clear. And then we'll also need to update our mounted sense here, like this, by deconstructing these, and that looks good. Yeah, cool. And then we go, now let's display the errors in your form component. So go to create form.tsx, and we're going to need to update it. What's the issue there? Do I need to, let's look at this. There are some things we need to correct this. Okay, we need to add this ARIA described by custom error for select, and then we're going to add a custom error here to give the errors, the direct errors here. So we just can paste this over the user, after the user circle icon. So there, cool. Okay, there's something wrong in our code here. I have not followed the action state, and there is no overload matches this. Cool. Okay, what have we done wrong here? Create invoice state, use action state, initial state. Do I need to export that? I think yes. No, it's because we're just using this function here. What's going on here? There's something not... Yeah, I've made an error here. Create invoice, create invoice. Why do we have two of them? We should not have two of them. Okay, let's... And how are we using prev state here? Prev state. I don't think we are, which is odd. Strange that we're not using previous state here. Okay, maybe we will, but strange that we're not currently. Let's just check that. You won't be using it in the action. Okay, but it's a required prop. Fine, that explains it. Good. And I hit with that. And then create form. Okay, now let's go and check out what it looks like. Back to our form. And then we enter in something incorrect. Let's say -1. Great, please select a customer. That should come from the validation here. -1. Oh, that seemed to work. Interesting. Okay, maybe it didn't. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, well, I'm going to move on here because it's fairly clear. I'm not going to bother adding area labels. I will run pnp lint, pnpm lint. Cool. And so let's just run over what we've done here to summarize. So we've got a form here in createform.tsx, which is running on client side. And the form action runs using this new use action state, calling our initial state, which we've just instantiated here, based on this type, which is the same type from our server action, and then create invoice, and here it is. That's the type. We then pass in previous state, which is going to be something like this. We don't use that. Form data, and then validate the form data, return an error if there is one. What has actually been what's been the benefit here of doing this? Like, in that we get form errors. Yeah, cool, like this. Please select customer, please select amount greater than 0, and please select an invoice status. So if we then submit, let's go and we create invoices. Yeah, we can't do that because we've got them required. Let's just take out the required to demonstrate. Required, get rid of that, and now please select the customer. Working. What is the... I'm tempted to continue because I create invoice, validated field. Otherwise, let's just print valid, see if that works, and have a look in the console. Console says, yeah, this error happens often. Don't know what that is. Just select customer. It's just kind of refreshing. I'm tempted to move on because I'm not that interested in this. Okay, well, that worked. But it seems that okay, there's probably a syntax error here. I'm going to move on. This is a useful intro to validation. I'm not that interested in finding out the little error that is present somewhere. If you do, then that's great. And yeah, I've got the general perspective of using action state to update the state of an action, updates to show the state changes or when you do an action. Yeah, maybe I can just see if I can set up quickly. This is for editing. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. Okay, let's move on. Chapter 15. Adding authentication, critical. Let's just save this. Chapter 14. Chapter 15. Auth is critical. What is authentication? Yeah, how? And this is really important. How do we redirect users and protect our routes? Authentication and then authorization. Which parts is a user allowed to use, and then is the person the user? Difference between authentication. Authentication determines what you can access. No, other way around. No, authorization determines what you can access. Yes. Okay, creating the login route. So create a new route in our dashboard. I guess not in our dashboard, just in our top level app called login, and then we'll create a new page as usual. Page.dsx. Paste this in. Cool. And now if we go to here, login. Nice. Where is that login form? Oh, and this is a component that they have is predefined by Next.js. It's repo that we downloaded. There you can see it. This is the right one. Continue. Next auth.js. Okay, sounds good. If there's a nice wrapper which does this for us, because you add almost no value to your customer. Well, it's critical that you have it, but there is no differentiated value beyond any other product. So if something does this for you, wonderful. pnpm I next auth at beta. Why is it the beta version, I wonder? Okay, there we go. It's compatible with Next.js 14, which we're using. Generate a secret key. Cool, that's our secret key. And then our .env file, we'll add that. .env file, what's the name of it? Auth secret. Auth secret. and then you need to update your environments in your Vercel project. That's actually really easy to do. You just, yeah, I won't bother doing that. But if you want to deploy, you'll need to do that. Adding the pages option. What is that? Create an auth config file. Okay. Auth.config.ts imports an auth config object. Okay, yeah. This specifies what's going to, okay, where for our auth routes. Cool. Now middleware, really important. So middleware sits between your request from the server, not from the server, request from your client comes, enters your backend, and then you have a middleware that it will go through, and then then after it's clear, the middleware will then go through your app and whatever logic you have, and then exit as a response broadly. So we're going to add middleware here. Satisfies. That is a term I don't know yet. No. Okay. Satisfies. Let's read this. If logged in, it's kind of standard. I've written this in Vue before. So if you're on the dashboard, then if you're log in, just return true. Otherwise, redirect. Otherwise, if you're logged in, then redirect the user to the dashboard. Okay, so that's useful if you try and access a random page, then you should be redirected to dashboard potentially. Okay. Yep. Calls before request is completed. Just what I was saying there. And this will run server side, I assume by default, because it's, oh yeah, this will run by server side. Next, import the auth config object into a middleware file. In the root, create middleware.ts. This is similar to Django. Middleware.ts. Copy this in. Next auth, this particular config. Okay, so if it matches, what are we doing here exactly? The matcher to specify it should run on particular paths, and this is a regex. So yeah, okay. So this means it's very broad. Yeah, cool. Hash passwords. I'm surprised this doesn't happen automatically with. Again, if you're using an ORM, it would then happen, but not. Yeah. So another, or it does for Django. Imagine for other ORMs, it will be very common. Don't know. So bcrypt we're using to hash the user's password before storing it in the database. Maybe it looks like you don't. You should always hash passwords before storing them in database. Never, don't do that. Okay. Create a new file called auth.ts that imports our auth config. Add credentials. Okay, that's good. So we can add in Google, GitHub, other social logins. I'll copy this in over the top. Yeah, fine. Change the authorize function to handle the authentication logic. Use Zod, just like we did for server actions, and we're in auth.ts again. I'll just copy this over again. So authorize, which I suppose will. Where is authorize coming from? Yeah, what's the issue here? Okay, some sort of type error here. I'm going to leave it and then see if we can get past it. Kind of going against the. Okay, so we'll copy this again. So this validates the credential. It uses Zod to get the email, validate that it's a minimum of 6, that it's an email and string, and that it's a minimum of 6 characters, and then safe passes them. And then we're going to have our get user. Cool, the error's gone, the warning is gone. Then we're going to get user, which is going to go. This is server side, and then it's going to run raw SQL again. Don't like it, but there we are, to get the user and all the data in the rows of that user, or row 0, maybe just the. Yeah, all the rows in this, and then the first row. Cool. Then call bcrypt to check if the passwords match. So bcrypt, and then we're going to call that password match. And you compare the two hashes. If user return null, that's where I need to be. So if user return null, and then after that, const passwords match. Otherwise console log return null. If passwords match, and we need that line as well. Return user. This is a bit. I'm not sure I like this code style. It's just a bit. It's okay, I suppose. Updating the login form. Now we go to actions.ts and then add one called authenticate. Use server. It's still, yeah. What is going on here? This is from before. I forgot to remove that. Let's copy in authenticate. And then we need to import these files. So sign in, these credentials, sign in from auth. So where is sign in there? Just thinking about sign in. Okay, so we're using this next auth sign in function. Finally, in login-form TSX, we need to make it run on the client side only. And then we use action state. What are we doing here? We're going to use action state again. Good. To call the server action, handle form errors, and display the form's pending state. So similar to what we did with our previous invoice form. And then login form here, the error message, and the authenticate is the action, and then initial state is undefined. Okay, cool. Get that, I get that. And form action, so make it into the server, what's it called again, server function, form action, and then button underneath the light, password, and then there's login. I'm just going to update this, copying over to check the is pending state, and then an error message based on our form errors here. Actually, there's a little bit extra here, this stuff, so I'm just going to copy the whole thing. You see that ARIA live, which isn't in this placeholder. Looks good. Adding the logout functionality, and now we go to, cool, so let's just save that so far. No, we'll leave it. Let's go to logout, what's it called, side nav, which is going to be one of our components, I imagine, in the UI. Yep, UI, app UI dashboard, and add the ability to the user to sign out just from using our auth again, which will similarly use the next auth, which I don't know much about, but we'll just assume I guess it works. And then, interesting, this use server inline. I guess this is the kind of mixing of server side and client side that Next does. Interesting, very interesting. I'd like to read more about that. Okay, let's try logging in. So use our nextmail.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool, that worked. And now if we log out, that doesn't seem to work. Now it does, strange. Maybe it was, let's try again. User at nextmail.com and sign out. Okay, there we go. I think I must have just been clicking on part of my face or the video. So that's just a very fast way. So quite a lot has been unexplained there. I'm happy to continue to give the rough overview there. And most of the time with auth, you just do it once, or hopefully you do it once, and you do it once and you do it well, and then maybe add little bits in the future. But it's, yep, cool. It's not something you'll be doing frequently. Let's add metadata. Final chapter. So chapter 16. Let's just save this. Chapter 15 done. Metadata. Good, very good for SEO. I look up what metadata is if you don't know. It's pretty important to let Google and other search crawlers index your page. Title, page title, description metadata, keyword metadata, open graph for your open graph images, and not open graph images, yeah. And then favicon as well for this little image there, the N for the Next.js there. Adding metadata. Metadata API, we can use config-based or file-based, with some range of special files. That's nice. And so you could have it root-based, I suppose. Cool, okay. Well, let's do that. So in public, favicon there and open graph image there. You're right, okay, so that's what will be shown. Open graph images are shown when a user shares a link. Here's an example, and I have an older tutorial on how to add them to Django. I think it was to Django here. Open graph, open graph social image generator with Django, and yeah, using Python. If you're interested. Anyway, but this will just be how to add them in. Let's make it a bit bigger for this. Okay, you can also, I don't really care which one. Like this really is something you will do even, very, very rarely. So we can do it in this dynamic, again, this way. So app layout.tsx, app layout.tsx, and this is our root layout. There's root layout, and then we add the metadata here. Cool. Okay, that will automatically do it. So let's call this anthill or ants dashboard. And now if we go, and there you go, ants dashboard. Nice. Cool, I guess. I wonder if you can make this dynamic, so you update it your title based on or in programmatically. I imagine you can. And then we can, okay, this is very easy to do. Same thing, it's just going to be in your page, you just add metadata and then detects it automatically. Nice. Where is it? Page for invoices. Invoices in our dashboard. Invoices, page.tsx, and then let's do it at the top, why not? Invoices, Acme dashboard. Now if we log in, that is not right. What's it called again? User at nextmail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. And now Ants dashboard. And now if we go to the invoices, Acme dashboard, invoices, Ants dashboard. There we go, updated. Yeah, so we can set a template. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is, okay, it's like it's in app layout. Yeah, just as I was expecting. There we go. And that, I suppose, picks up the page and route name. Title template. Okay, so you can specify the specific page title. And so now we can just specify the title and it will match here in page, which we've already done. Yeah, okay, let's try again. So just, and the invoices, let's call it quickly. And there we go, quickly. And that has filled in the title there using our root layout, and then just added that here to the template. And imagine if we wanted, there'll be a way to override that on a local level. Cool. So that's it. Next steps, finally. So congratulations, we finished. And here are extra steps overall. And we could try chatbot. If you watch the whole of that, then wow, congratulations. Leave a comment down below and I'll congratulate you. Otherwise, if you watch just chunks, hope you found it useful to see as I started learning Next.js as well. Besides that, subscribe if you'd like to get more content from me. All the best to you.